Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I'm putting my heart up! Let's go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! 1, 2, 3! 1, 2, 3! Turn that down, Drew!
Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Good morning, guys. I'll get to the point right away. I'm retiring for good. I know the process was a pretty big deal last time, so when I woke up this morning, I figured I'd just press record and let you guys know first. So I won't be long-winded. You only get one super emotional retirement essay, and I used mine up last year. So really thank you guys so much to every single one of you for supporting me, my family, my friends, my teammates, my competitors. I could go on forever. There's too many. Thank you guys for allowing me to live my absolute dream. I wouldn't change a thing. Love you all.
And with that, one of the greatest careers in sports, if not the greatest career in professional sports history in the United States, comes to an end on a beach right outside, I guess right outside where he's living in there in Tampa Bay. Tom Brady announcing his second retirement exactly a year after the first retirement, which lasted less than a month and a half. And man, what a year it has been for Tom Brady. Not the sort of year that I think he or anybody else would have imagined when he announced his retirement a year ago. We didn't even know he'd be playing again. I'm surprised. I'm a little surprised by this retirement. Matt Jones, I've been open the last few weeks about the thought that I thought he was going to end up going play somewhere else. More than anything, it's because I just think there are some people that have an addiction to, why they do what they do for a living.
Competition, yes.
Whether it's the rush of or the joy you get out of what you do for a living, and you just can't picture yourself, doing anything else. I think in Brady's case, it's the addiction to competition and proving people wrong. Which felt like one reason why he came back again last year. But man, it wasn't a good season for the Bucs, even with a division championship, more losses than wins. Brady did not look like himself or what we are used to seeing from him. And heck, we were even kicking around the idea yesterday. It was Nolan Ryan's birthday yesterday. He pitched into his age 46 season, and I thought Tom Brady would do it again, would play quarterback at his age 46 season, but no, comes to an end. And I guess, Matt, this morning it comes to me as a surprise, but I think, as this will fade away in the next couple of weeks, not too much of a surprise to see a 45-year-old man who's played 24 years of the most punishing sport in the world to call it a career and move on to something else that he's going to be pretty good at, I assume. Absolutely.
All I can do is tip my hat to Tom Brady. I think I was fortunate enough to share the field with him 3 times, and I was 0 for 3, 2 playoff losses and 1 regular season loss. So he definitely can get it done. The thing that you noticed this year and last year, and we talked about this a couple weeks ago, Phil, with Peyton Manning, his last couple years, how his ball didn't look as sharp. And same thing with Tom Brady. He cannot make that level 2 throw 25 yards down the field that all these young quarterbacks can, and it's tough to continue. And he's so smart and so talented, and that's just one little thing that's kind of the first thing to go. Couldn't move that well, but he's still one of the best to ever play. Now if I'm choosing a quarterback, I'm not choosing him first. But there's a lot of people out there that would, and those 7 Super Bowl rings kind of. That's enough said right there.
Yeah, I mean, there's only a select few that you would, even entertain the idea of choosing ahead of Brady if you were going to start a football team.
First ballot Hall of Famer, no question about it. Yeah.
Well, I think Brady's the kind of guy that's going to get every single vote.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's awfully rare. I don't know if that's ever happened.
Well, he handled
in Canton.
Well, and I kind of compare it to LeBron James a little bit. He's handled everything kind of the right way, in the news for the right reasons, not in the news for the wrong reasons. LeBron got beat up because he was donating $1 million to a boys club saying he's taking his talents down to Miami, and everybody got upset with him. But it's like he was giving back to, and starting that school. Tom Brady's doing the same thing. He's not in the news for the wrong things. He's went about everything, it seems like, the right way.
Yeah,
except for Deflategate, but yeah.
Well, I mean, yes, there was that.
Those are competition things, like that's a different thing, but yeah.
Well, and that's not the kind of thing that I think necessarily tarnishes the legacy when you look right down to it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it kind of goes. It's on the list of things that you know about him when it comes to his career, but it doesn't keep him out of Canton. It doesn't keep him from getting every single vote possible whenever it is that he's eligible for the Hall of Fame. And it's probably not even on the first sentence or the first paragraph that, is written about Brady's career. As I've been reading a couple of things about him in the last hour since the announcement came out, Deflategate hasn't been part of it.
Well, and he was third in passing his last 3 years at Tampa. He was third. So I mean, it's not like it had really fallen off a cliff, but you could see his mobility. He never was the most mobile, starting to decline a little bit, but if he has that addiction to competition, that he still wants to go get it, because I think he doesn't have anything else to prove out there. He's proven all he's had to prove.
I can imagine, get into someone's mind like that. I mean, he wasn't going to go back to Tampa. That was a foregone conclusion. You weren't going to be part of, I don't know if rebuild is the right word, but maybe if Tampa gets to a position where they're healthier at certain positions, that it's not as much of a rebuild. But that's not the same team that won the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, and so if you end up going somewhere else, I mean, there's all the drama that surrounds around that, I mean, you figure out the contract and where you're going to play. That's one thing, but, just going to play for another team again, going to play for a new coach again, I mean, he's already played for, it would be a third coach in 3 years. Whether or not there's, and getting to know a fan base again and all the expectations that go along with being the person that everybody says is the GOAT, and then it's expected, well, now that he's here, we're going to win the Super Bowl. And
they did, which you don't see much, Phil, in football. I mean, Peyton Manning went and did it, but it took him a little bit. But to be able to go out that way, pretty special.
Yeah. So, and it's not like he needs the money. It's not like he's going to be away from football necessarily. I mean, he's just got this great gig at Fox, just waiting to slide right in and be the top commentator. I mean, I'm interested to see how that works out for him. Sometimes you look at guys that you expect will be really great commentators. Joe Montana, remember Jerome Bettis, guys like that. They were really talkative and friendly and insightful when it came to interviews, and were good on camera, with commercials and everything like that, but they weren't really very good at analysis of the game in a way that you need to be on television. Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting to see with Brady moving forward, and we'll get a chance to watch him do that next year. But this year for him, I mean, in the last 365 days, he suffered through a losing season, something that had happened how many times in his career? Never?
I don't think so. I know the
I don't
year.
think they ever had a losing season in New England.
Right. I know one year he tore his ACL in the first game of the year and they didn't make the playoffs, but, he only played that first. That was against the Chiefs, actually, yeah.
They won 10 games that season.
Yeah.
And missed the playoffs.
Yes.
Castle was the quarterback.
Matt Castle, yeah.
So, I mean, there was that. There was the divorce from Giselle, and, I mean, that was...
Seemed like he timed that perfectly, though. Seemed like he might have had a little. He kind of knew what he was doing right there, I think.
Yeah, well, maybe we can view into that a little bit as far as that's concerned, because it certainly seemed that, the reports of the split came not too far after the reports of him coming back to play again for the Bucs. So those things did kind of go together. I don't know. I don't know if you look at it like he was trying to extricate himself from a very public relationship in a way that might not look like it's his fault.
Yeah, that was because he left camp for grown folk business. If you remember right, he's like, and so that was just 4 or 5 months ago. That's it. They were still married. So that's when all that they just happened. So I think he, oh well, he's still one of the best to ever do it. And man, I don't. You can't say enough good things about the kid, about the guy. I mean, how good he's been, and the longevity of it. I don't know who you put it up there to. Some baseball players like a Tony Gwynn, Pete Rose. I mean, guys that play year in, year out, not getting hurt. He had 1 year he got hurt. You look at these quarterbacks now, Phil. It's like they're all getting hurt. They get hurt. You got to go to your backup. You got to go to your third string. Whatever you got to do. And he was one of those guys that you could always count on.
Well, again, I mean, there are some people that really aren't Tom Brady fans. There's lots of them. I mean, I was not a fan. I rooted against him for years and years. And then really the last couple of years are just like, let's just appreciate this for what it is. This is the kind of career that I don't know if anybody expected to see something like this while we were alive, and probably not going to see anything like it again. Although you've got this incredible, I mean, look at Patrick Mahomes. Look at Mahomes right now.
Yeah.
Third Super Bowl. 5 consecutive AFC Championship games. Still has a lot of youth. He's got more money. Heck, he's the part owner of the baseball team that's in the city that he plays. But that Mahomes was on the radar as soon as he got into the league. Tom Brady was not. Like, he's the first one, thinking about moving forward who could be. There's never, like, you remember Michael Jordan retired, and then there were all these the next Jordans.
Yeah, baby Jordan, Harold Miner. You had Vince Carter. Yeah.
Grant Hill.
Yeah.
I said Grant Hall because he's coming up in the next segment with us in just a moment. But, yeah, Grant Hill. Kobe. I mean, even Kobe was going to be the next MJ. And maybe he was too.
He's the only one that held up to the pressure, that's for sure. Kobe, the knock on Kobe was we've already seen it before. Like, he's doing everything Jordan did. And you're like, well, we've just seen it. It was nothing new to us. But Kobe, oh my goodness, dude, that dude. If it's 2A and 2B as your 2 guard, 1A, 1B, I mean, Kobe's the second best.
Yeah, but I mean, that's you can't ever. I hope I don't hear anybody say like, well, this guy's the next Brady, because there's just not going to be one. There isn't going to be one.
Brady,
there wasn't another Muhammad Ali. There wasn't another one of the greatest.
And I'll put it this way too: Brady didn't have the physical attributes that a Muhammad Ali or a Kobe Bryant or all these studs that had it. He was more cerebral. He was more of like a computer with his mind and brain, knowing where to go, because his arm strength was never A+. He never had a cannon. He and that's why his last few years you could see he couldn't push the ball down the field. He was just sharp everywhere else. But when you're just looking at, hey man, these are your attributes, he didn't have a lot of A+ physically. His was A+ mentally.
I mean, all the stats that go into it, all the Super Bowl wins, the passing records, the regular season records and wins, and all of that. I think more than anything, you just look at the idea that coast to coast, this is the number one story of the day, and nothing is even close to it. And it's on a day where, I mean, last night, you had a huge trade in the NFL with a coach getting traded, with Sean Payton, a Super Bowl winning coach, being traded. His rights being traded. I know the last time I remember a coach being traded, it was Belichick. It was Belichick who was traded. Wasn't that how the Patriots got him? As they traded something to the Jets.
The Jets or the Browns? Yeah, it seems like a Parcells might have been. It's always weird to trade a coach for draft picks. It's definitely it's you don't see it a lot,
especially a team that traded away their first-round draft choice and then traded for another first-round draft choice and then trades that choice again, along with a couple of others, for a coach who, when he took over the Saints, they had not signed Breeze yet. I think he signed after that, and he certainly helped Breeze become the quarterback that he turned into. I mean, he was good in San Diego, but he was a heck of a lot better in New Orleans. But Breeze also was, coming off that shoulder injury, and he'd been beaten up, and a lot of folks thought that he was going to be done, and that would be it for him. And he ends up turning into a Hall of Famer. Can Sean Payton do the same thing for a Russell Wilson?
No, Russell Wilson
Probably
needs
not.
to talk about hanging him up. Like that dude, he's falling off a cliff. I mean, I don't know that he was never like he's a B quarterback anyways, but man, you talk about can't move, can't throw the ball well. Like he looked. I mean, he had a bad year this year. We'll just be honest. He did not have a good year.
Peyton stuck with him at least for the next 2-3 seasons is what it looks like. And we are stuck with you for the next couple of hours, 2 hours and 45 minutes here on halftime. And on this Wednesday in which the ice still resides on our streets, mostly across our listening area, and school continues to be out, we've got a usual Wednesday to try to keep things going a little more normalcy, to our lives. We'll have Bill King in hour number 3 to talk about late National Signing Day, which starts today, and Alyssa Orange in hour number 2 from Pig Trail Nation. A lot of basketball talk with Alyssa. Huge win for the men yesterday in a pretty entertaining game, defeating Texas A&M. And in just a moment, we are joined by Grant Hall. Not Grant Hill, Grant Hall, who I think I called Grant Hill Grant Hall for a moment there.
Grant Hall's equally impressive, though.
Yeah, they both have a good mustache game.
Bald heads, just killing it.
Yeah, maybe at one point Grant Hall had a great-looking jump shot instead of that great golf shot.
And the mustache kind of going on with it, too, yeah.
Well, we'll talk about Grant Hall's golf shot, not his basketball shot, after this on halftime.
The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
We were going across the bridge at Texarkana when he was down there doing some oil and gas work. When I was a young one, I got car sick really bad. Dad, I'm not feeling good. You need to pull over. And I was leaning over the seat. He said, son, let me get across this bridge. Didn't make it. Right down the collar of his shirt.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
The cold and flu seasons are here, and Law's Drug Store has what you need to safely care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all the over-the-counter cold and flu remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointments for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Hurry, dude, the game's about to start.
Nothing beats spending the day watching the game with your buddies.
Dude, I'm literally right here. Let's do this.
Which is why a shelter insurance renter's policy is key to your winning game plan. It protects things your landlord's policy doesn't.
Dude, where's your TV?
What? Oh, no way, dude.
Like that flat screen TV that just got stolen.
Call Ted McAvoy in Van Buren or Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric has been the most trusted heating and air company in Arkansas for more than 50 years. As the winter weather changes from hot to cold, trust the pros at Paschal to ensure your system is performing at its best. Right now, get a heating tune-up for only $99 per system. Want full protection and member discounts? It's only $1 more per visit. Call today or visit GoPaschal.com to schedule online anytime. Professional people, professional service. GoPaschal.com.
Art's Barbecue and Burgers has the best burger in town. And every Saturday, enjoy any burger at Art's and get $1 off. Try Art's Bacon Cheeseburger, topped with house smoked bacon, or the Art Attack with bacon, ham, and a fried egg. And all of Art's burgers come with a mound of fresh cut fries, or upgrade to Art's homemade onion rings. $1 off all burgers every Saturday at Art's Barbecue and Burgers, 8203 Rogers Avenue, next to Aaron's in Fort Smith.
Are you mechanically inclined? Do you have the love of recreational vehicles? Breeden RV Center is looking for you to make a difference in their service department. Breeden RV Center is now hiring. If you are willing to learn, then you're the perfect candidate. Stop or call Breeden RV Center located on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Or call Breeden RV Center at 262-2418 to apply or make an appointment. Breeden RV Center is ready to talk to you. Breeden RV Center, where you can start your adventure.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment? Not having enough home time? Feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit PatriotTransport.com to apply. That's PatriotTransport.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Who in this party's off the hook? I had to take a closer look. Would it be possible, honey, to have a little talk with you?
Find halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Always good to talk with Grant Hall here on Halftime every Wednesday. Grant, I inadvertently referred to Grant Hill as Grant Hall in the last segment. I don't think there are a lot of people that got the two of you mixed up over the course of your lives, but you can understand the names are somewhat similar. How you doing today?
Well, I'm doing well, and thankfully a state trooper in South Carolina one time confused my name. He wrote down Grant Hill on the ticket. And so I didn't say anything about it, and somewhere in South Carolina, I hope that's not on Grant Hill's permanent record, you know, if he got another speeding ticket in South Carolina, but that was a long time ago.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that, that it shouldn't happen on too much of a routine basis. Hey, Tom Brady retires. Thoughts on, is he the GOAT? I mean, it's tough to go against him. You might look at some other quarterbacks that had greater physical qualities to them. But, I mean, you look at the career numbers, the Super Bowls and everything, and the story of his career, too. I'd be hard-pressed to find someone that I'd pick over him.
Yeah, call me when someone wins 7 Super Bowls. I was just reading this story in Sports Illustrated last night about the game between Seattle and New England. Remember when Pete Carroll called a pass, second down to 1 yard line, and Butler intercepted it, and all that. But at that point, Brady had gone a number of years without, he won 3 in his first 4 years, and then I think it was maybe, the 10th year or something, or 10 years had gone by, and then, of course, he won 4 more after, but beginning with that game. So, you wonder I think he was 37 years old then. And, I got to see him play a little bit in that bowl game, but, he wasn't even, he was splitting time when he played against Arkansas in that bowl game, but who knew that he would be what he became?
Drew Henson, right? Was he the other quarterback from Michigan?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Well, and to your point, Wes Welker never won a Super Bowl, so that's a good point by you, Grant, because he had all those years, and then Gronk only won 1 with New England, and everybody's like, thinking that he won multiple ones because he did have a little lull there. But just the body of work he's not he wouldn't be the number 1 quarterback I would take. But you couldn't go wrong with picking him number 1. Do you have a Tom Brady moment? Do you have one that just sticks out?
I think just when I think about Tom Brady, I think about those perfect tight spirals. A lot of quarterbacks don't do that. A lot of great quarterbacks don't.
Peyton didn't have a good one. Peyton didn't throw a pretty ball.
Yeah, and I just think, it was just that and his fierce competitiveness, I would say. And the guy got angry. He probably got as angry late in his career as he ever did. But, the interesting thing, he was on 60 Minutes one time, did an interview, and he talked about how this was early in his career and how did he really want to keep playing football and there's got to be more stuff than this. And then, of course, he ends up pushing the envelope and playing all those years. So kind of interesting.
You heard the analogy. It's not the size of the dog in the fight, but the size of the fight in the dog, and that's Tom Brady right there.
I think as somebody who was so good against pressure, he was so cool under pressure. Growing up as a Steelers fan, he owned Pittsburgh, and that was a defense that was built to blitz, and they blitzed him, and they paid the price for that. He against the blitz.
Yeah, and just total preparation. It was interesting in this story I was talking about the center, who I think was a rookie at the time in that game against Seattle, changed the protection that Brady had called because it didn't account for one of the – it looked like they were going to rush 7 guys, and Brady called a protection that would have left one guy loose, and the center dared to kind of overrule Tom Brady on that call. So you don't think of Tom ever making a mistake on anything like that.
Grant, Arkansas looked good last night against Texas A&M. Few too many turnovers, few too many offensive rebounds allowed to the Aggies, but they got good shots. And, man, it's the best they've looked offensively in a long time, and they needed that win, and it's great to see them lead almost the entire game. I wouldn't put any of yesterday on the Aggies' travel necessarily. I think Arkansas did play that well where they needed to play that well, specifically getting good looks, knocking down shots.
Yeah, the only thing you might put on the travel is that A&M shot 26 out of 76, and they missed 10 free throws also. And it wasn't. I believe Jimmy Dykes is correct when he said a lot of coaches probably would have said, "Look, we just can't get there," So I give them credit for making the effort. But if it had anything to do with it, Arkansas was due a break like that, I would say. And really, these last 2 games have been weird in the sense that in both of them, Arkansas shot about 51% to the other team's 34%, but they lost one and sort of barely. Arkansas was only up 4 with 4 minutes to go last night, and it took and gave up, 24, I think, offensive rebounds and had 17 turnovers to A&M's 8. So those are figures that you say, well, you're not going to win those games. But then if you look at the disparity in the shooting percentages, you say you're going to win nearly all of those. So it was kind of odd that way. But it was, as Devo held up there's 3 wins in a row in the conference with a great chance to add one Saturday, although South Carolina did beat Kentucky at Kentucky. And that's the South Carolina team you have to expect Arkansas will see on Saturday.
I thought it was pretty cool. The Mitchell twins get to start on their birthday, and then between them have a triple-double. 18 boards, 15 points, 10 block shots. Man, that's if you're talking about getting it on the aggregate, man, I was really impressed with what they did last night.
Yeah, and
Mikel's doing it on not one leg, but he's not 100%, and he's out there balling.
Yeah, and he almost did it. He challenged it by himself. If he'd have made that last free throw, that's a double-double, and then just 3 blocks away from 10. I think he had 8 in a game last year, or for Rhode Island. But that's another. There's another example, guys, of when Arkansas had the 2 injuries, then they had to find other guys. That Graham has come along some, and now especially at least last night, Mikel Mitchell. So. When and if Nick Smith comes back, they could still be pretty good by tournament time.
When and if Nick Smith comes back. And that was even part of the conversation on the broadcast yesterday and on social media yesterday. And, I've been upfront about it. I'll believe he's going to play when he's on the court wearing a uniform playing for Arkansas. That's not to say I don't think he's going to play. I just don't know what to make of it at times, and everybody's supposed to have an opinion about it. He's there with them right now. So maybe if he wasn't going to play for Arkansas, he wouldn't even be back with the team at all. That's what he said yesterday on Twitter.
Yeah, why would he enroll in school? I know Priscilla cast doubt on it, but Jimmy Dykes has been consistent in thinking he's come back sometime in the next week or 10 days or something. So, it appeared that it would be really timely because of Anthony Black, and he had this hand injury, and he's got this knee thing going on, but it's not phasing him. Anthony Black, I mean, it's a good thing the guy played football because he's had some collisions this year, including last night. And if nothing, he's shown that he's a tough kid, I would say.
He's like he should be wearing a face mask for basketball.
Yeah.
He was a wide receiver when it came to football and was recruited to play there in college. I mean, he's one of the only players I've thought for basketball that consistently needs a face mask because people always have their elbows.
He's not afraid of a little
face.
contact. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he'll block a shot for you or get a rebound in traffic, and but I've kind of wondered about what the team's going to look like if Nick Smith comes back. He's a guy that sort of needs the basketball, and they've gotten accustomed to playing the way they're playing. And they've got, no one thought that Devo was really a true point guard or Ricky Council. Obviously Anthony Black is. But when he comes back, they're going to have to adjust to his presence and play a little bit different way. And that's not to say, I mean, I think everybody wants him to come back and help, but I think there will be an adjustment period there.
I just saw this, and you might have already been ahead of me here, Grant. But Devo reminds me so much of Clint McDaniel and what he used to do on that 1992-93 team. I mean, he can bring the ball up the floor if you need him to. He can hit a three if you need him to, but he's going to lock down the other team's best player. But he can do a little bit of you don't want him to have to do it the whole game. And I love some Clint McDaniel. He was kind of that glue guy, one of those guys that you knew if he was guarding you, it was going to be a long night.
It's interesting, Matt. He was there last night, along with I think Davo Remock was there.
Oh, nice.
And Martin.
Yeah,
and I know, and also Sam Pittman, of course, and Dan Enos were there in the crowd. But yeah, Devo. I know that fans get exasperated on some of the passes and things, but they had this quote last night they showed from Nolan Richardson. You probably saw it, that a lot of guys play hard on one end of the court, but not that many guys play as hard on both ends of the floor as Devo does, and he really, Nolan is really high on Devo. I'm sure he would have loved to coach him too.
Oh man, Devo could play for any college basketball team in the country. You'd be lucky to have that kid. It's weird. I don't know if his game's going to translate to that next level like a Pat Beverly did when he kind of made his deal on defense. But Devo can go overseas and make a lot of money if he wants to.
Yeah, that will be interesting, Matt, to see. And and he is the guy on this team that has two Elite Eights that he's been to, and he's really become the leader.
Mm-hmm.
We talked last week about calling his own timeout and stuff. And last night after the game, I couldn't tell after that last dunk. He went to the shake hands line, and Buzz was right there, and somehow they kind of missed each other. And I don't know. I'm not sure what happened there. Did you ever go through a shake hands line and kind of just gloss past guys you didn't like, or how was that?
Oh, I don't think that was intentional. I think usually when the game's over, you put everything behind you because we understand that it's a game and competition. You try not to let it get personal. And you know what? If you don't want me to dunk it at the end of the game, then don't let me have the ball. I have no problems with scoring a touchdown late or dunking. That's why they keep score, man.
Yeah, and it was such a spur of the moment. There was just 2 or 3 seconds left.
How cool of a dunk was that? That kind of made me. Clint McDaniel used to do that.
It's funny. The one that Council had last night, as crowd pleasing a play as that was, A&M went immediately on a 5-0 run.
Yeah, they got a 3-point play on the next end. Yep.
You notice when it comes to the top play on SportsCenter, they show the play. They didn't show the next 2 minutes after the play.
No, that's right.
Man, his spring! Oh my goodness, we've said we hadn't seen it in a few games, but we saw it in some non-conference games. When he wants to take off, he's taking off. You can just get out of the way.
When that back is loosened up.
Oh my goodness,
that's the thing with Council.
It's so quick too. It's like as soon as he jumps, he just springs. I mean, it's fun.
Well, Grant, whatever he's done to loosen that back the last couple of games, I hope it continues. But I have to ask you about Henry Moore, who passed away Sunday at age 88 and was one of the great Razorbacks of the 50s and part of the 25 Little Pigs. And I know this is a player that you got a chance to watch when you were a little pup.
Yeah, my first year to watch Arkansas football was 1955. I was 7 years old. And I'm not going to tell you I remember a lot about it, but Arkansas always started the season with Tulsa. The first home game in Fayetteville would be in Tulsa against Tulsa, and that was the game. And Arkansas won, and they had the old-time scoreboard, where the clock just kind of crept along, and you couldn't quite figure out exactly how much.
Nice. Like the scoreboard in school ties. Yeah.
Yeah, and so my sister and I spent half the game, I think, playing on the steps or something. But I do remember hearing his name a lot, and of course he was a great pile driving back, and he played in 53, 4, and 5. So he played 2 years under Bowden White and 1 under Jack Mitchell, but his other coaches, it's amazing. He played for Wilson Matthews, and then he played for Vince Lombardi and the 1956 Giants championship team. Lombardi was an assistant coach then. Jim Lee Howell, who had Arkansas ties, was the head coach. And then Henry Moore went and played for Baltimore, and they went, I think that next year in 58 was when they won, some called the greatest game ever played, John Unitas handing off to Alan Amici and all that stuff. I remember when I was a kid watching on TV. But so he had 2 good years. I think probably he and his brother Billy were just as known for things off the field as on the field. And, but that Billy made AP All-America quarterback in 1960, I think it was. Had a 90-yard run against Tulsa. So 2 great Razorbacks, and I know a lot, well, maybe not a lot, but people my age certainly remember Henry Moore.
Grant, appreciate you hopping on with us. Thank you very much. Have a great rest of the week and stay warm.
All right. See you.
Thanks, Grant.
Grant Hall with us every Wednesday right about now on Halftime. I have an open segment in just a minute. First, want to remind you about WT Equipment with their 8 locations all across Arkansas and North Louisiana, including the newest location opened a few months ago in Searcy. WT Equipment is an authorized New Holland agriculture and construction equipment dealership offering equipment sales, service, and parts. So if you're looking for equipment to be ready for harvest or putting up hay this upcoming summer, WT Equipment is your source. Look for compact track loaders, excavators, anything else involving agriculture or construction equipment. Please stop by your nearest WT Equipment location or online at WTEquip.com. 877-377-6963 for halftime.
Joe Klein here for Bet Saracen, Arkansas's favorite sports betting app.
You bet it is, Joe, which means Bet Saracen has everything you're looking for and more right there on your cell phone.
Now everyone can get in the game and follow your favorite team.
And that's right on the money. If putting down a little wager makes your favorite game a little more exciting, we'll go to the app stores and download Bet Saracen. We even got a demo video to show you how to play.
Or find it at BetSaracen.com.
Home is everything. It's your sanctuary, your command center, your music room, and your art studio. It's where you eat family dinners and make lasting memories. When you use a Weichert agent to help you find your home, we'll help you find the space to make it yours. When you begin your search, know that a Weichert agent will be there with you every step of the way. Because at Weichert Realtors, we guide you home. To get started, call your local Weichert agent and look for our bright yellow signs all over town. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
At Crane Used Cars on 71 South, it's a new year, and Joe Pulliam, dealer-operator, has bigger and better deals for 2023. Like up to $2,023 more for your trade. That's right, up to $2,023 over Black Book. With a great selection of certified pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, all backed by the Crane Commitment. 100-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Joe knows customer service with a 5-star rated service before and after the sale. So come see Joe at the Crane Used Car Supercenter, 8200 Highway 71 South, Fort Smith.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Come get you some
2728 Townsend Avenue is your off-road and performance center headquarters. They've got everything from lift kits, wheels, LED light bars, UTV parts and accessories, winches and tires. Need general 4x4 repair? No problem. Come Get You Some has one of the largest 4x4 shops in the States. They do it all, from installing a bug shield to building some of the baddest off-road machines in the country. Call them today at 782-6833. That's 782-MUD. Or check them out online at cgysoffroad.com. Come get you some.
Precision Overhead Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all of your overhead door needs. Fully licensed and insured, with locations in Rogers and Fort Smith, serving all of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Give them a call today at 844-PDS-STORE or online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Back-to-back winners of the Best of Award, Gold Best Garage Company in Northwest Arkansas, and also winners of the River Valley Precision Overhead Door.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Gelco for hard work and the great outdoors.
With quality and price and comfort you like, and savings that you're looking for.
We've got the shoes and boots, steel toes too, outerwear and a whole lot more.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Gelco
for hard work and the great outdoors.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey! 1, 2, 1.
Fly so swift, rain won't lift, he won't close, the railing froze. Get your mind off when it's time, you ain't going nowhere. Say, ooh-wee, ride me high.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Give them a call or send them a text at 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Heading to the arena, the one thing my wife said is make sure you start the Mitchell twins because it's their birthday. I mean, both of them were good, like that's a lot of block shots, but, we're doing some unique things with Mikel defensively on where we place him the last two games, and we've been trapping a lot more at half court than we have all season.
Muss yesterday after the win over A&M discussing the Mitchell twins. Maybe it felt like a surprise to have him start, both of them. We've seen Mackay out there. I think Mikel had started maybe 1 or 2 games before yesterday. But I tell you, watching that game on television, and it must have looked a lot more so in attendance, in person, Arkansas just looked a lot bigger than A&M did.
Look
at
fresher,
that lineup, you got the Mitchell twins, 6'10", or 6'11", Anthony Black, 6'7", point guard, Ricky Council at 6'5", 6'6", Devo about the same. It's your 5 starters out there, man, for your smallest player to be 6'5", and to have a 6'7".
And Devo might be your toughest, being your smallest player, being your toughest. And I feel you do that when it's funny. His wife said something to Musselman, but you do that when kids do things the right way. Like those, that means Mitchell, they're doing things the right way, and you reward your players, man. That's big time. That they'll remember that day for the rest of their lives, and the team, comes together. That's super cool that that did that, and then super cool that they did what they were supposed to do. They showed up and rang the bell. They got an opportunity to go out there and do something, and between them had a triple-double. How cool.
So it's interesting with Mikel because last year, one of the guys that was an afterthought before maybe about midway through January, week into January, something like that, was Trey Wade. And I'm not saying they're the same player, but they do have some of the same qualities. I don't think you'll see Mikal, jump out and have a bigger offensive game than he had last night. Wade, every once in a while, heck, I mean, he had a couple of games like, where did this come from? 20 points or something like that. But he D'd up, he rebounded, and had displayed a toughness that went along with the experience that he played in throughout his career. And I think Mikal could be a little bit of the same thing. I remember reading about the Mitchell twins before the season started, and you've watched enough of these games, you see it. Mikal is much more of a scorer, somebody that can. He's not a 20-point a game guy, but
he has soft finish around the rim. Yeah. He has some touch to him.
And Mikal is more of like the enforcer style.
Your Ben Wallace style, yep.
Yeah, and they complement each other a little bit as far as having a couple of forwards that play different styles. But, I mean, Mikal was an afterthought. He really was an afterthought until you got a couple of weeks into the month and Muss started putting him out there a little bit in the loss against Alabama, which didn't work out well, not because Mitchell was a starter. It's just they didn't play very well, and Alabama was playing really very well at that point. And then 18 minutes against Vanderbilt. Again, not a game that Arkansas played very well, but Mitchell led them with 8 rebounds in that ball game. And then he dealt with the knee injury the last couple of weeks, and he's still getting out there for 21, 23, 32 minutes. And you can see it's taking him a little bit of time to get moving down the court after battling for a rebound or having to pick himself up. He's laboring, but he's playing hard. And if you get any kind of inkling of that sort of performance again from Mitchell, I mean, he could end up being a real difference maker for this team, I think in much of the same way that Trey Wade was last year. A glue guy kind of a player.
Both those kids, we're going to need them to do well if we want to have any success, especially in the rest of the regular season or the SEC tournament. Another guy, Phil, that I was happy to see out there at the end of the game, and if he stayed out of foul trouble, very efficient. Jordan Walsh, 27 minutes, 12 points, 7 boards. That 4 spot, he's going to be just as athletic as any 4 out there on the floor. I mean, he really is. And so we need him out there at the end of the games, and he can shoot free throws. That's the other thing we talked a little bit about, the knock on Graham, which you just got to keep giving Graham confidence, I think. I mean, the dude's offensively skilled. You just keep patting him on the butt and tell him to go out there and go to work, big fella. But Jordan Walsh is so natural. He's just so much better, just a natural talent. He's going to have to play smart and be out there if we're going to make this run, winning 7 of 8, doing something in the SEC tournament for sure.
Now, I wonder, I mean, you look at yesterday's lineup, 7 players got out there. That's about the sweet spot for a team that's playing well under Eric Musselman.
Like it could be Pinion or it could be Graham. Probably maybe both of them aren't going to play at the same time, and then nobody fouled out. So we know a lot of those subs too. I think he does because we get in foul trouble and he has to.
And a lot of that will have to do with the matchups as far as who you're playing.
Right.
But I also wonder about like Walsh coming off the bench. If maybe that's a really good place for him, take a little bit of that pressure off.
Settle him down a little bit
early.
Yeah.
He's going to get, as long as he's not fouling, he's going to get his 25 to 28 minutes a game, whether it's off the bench or as a starter. But I do like the idea of him being that kind of an energy guy off the bench.
Phil, that's a great point. You have your guys that start and you have your guys that finish the game, and they're not always the same 5. Like it's weird how that works out. But you have your guys that you want out there to start the game, and you have your guys you want out there to finish the game. And Jordan Walsh is one you want out there to finish the game because he can shoot and he's athletic, he's unselfish, he's smart. All those good qualities is that's what helps you win in the last few minutes of a game.
All right, we're going to break here on halftime. Wrap things up in hour number 1 in just a moment. You want to get us a text? We can take texts in the next segment. Calls when we get into hour number 2. 877-377-6963 to get with us on halftime today. When the Razorbacks play, you got to be at Joe's Grilling Cantina. And when I say play, basketball, baseball, football, anything. Whenever the Hogs are on television, Joe's Grilling Cantina has half-price apps and half-price taps during the game. And on a Wednesday, that's the entire day anyway. That's their Wednesday special. Half-price apps, half-price taps at Joe's Grilling Cantina. It's where you can watch sports and enjoy yourself at 3400 South 74th in Fort Smith across from Harps. Joe's Grilling Cantina open Tuesday through Saturday. joesfortsmith.com, the website, and the Waiter app to order. And halftime wraps up the first hour next.
Hi folks, matchmaker Larry Rath here with a sweetheart of a deal from Rath Auto Resources. I'm on a mission to help you find the nicer, newer car of your dreams. So if the thrill is gone with your old ride, come see the best selection of Rath Road Ready vehicles we've had in over 2 years. Each one hand-picked and reconditioned in our Meineke Car Care Center. Just find the one you love the best and let our friendly, non-commissioned solution specialists do the rest. With discounts up to $4,100 below retail and the highest trade-in values ever, you'll be head over heels for the deals too. Gonna make it work with the car you have? Let us give it the attention it deserves in our Meineke Car Care Center with a free winter-ready inspection, half-off brakes, and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. But hurry, this deal will be over quicker than your first crush. Start driving better today in a nicer, newer car you love from Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Do you need help with your next project? Metters Lumber True Value is here to help. A family-owned business since 1936, the staff has more than 90 years of experience in construction and the hardware business. If they don't have what you need, they know how to get it, and they are more than happy to accommodate your special order. So whether it's building a new deck, a paint project around the house, or needing a new set of tools, Metters Lumber True Value has everything you need. With locations in Alma, Ozark, and Clarksville, and you can shop online at metterslumber.com. Metters Lumber True Value.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
And we're back with breaking news. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any Coke fan, so make sure you... Jim. Jim. We're on the air.
Ooh, yes, this tastes like the best Coke ever to me. Your thoughts, Jen?
Well, can I have a sip?
Jen, we're in the middle of reporting the news.
I need to try it first.
Needing your roof repaired? Ramos Roofing is a local company that has over 25 years of experience, specializing in your residential or commercial roofing needs in the Oklahoma area. Ramos Roofing, a company you can trust, offering discounts to senior citizens, law enforcement, or healthcare workers, and assists in your insurance claims. Ramos Roofing, standing behind their work so you can stand under it. Call 479-420-9903. That's 420-9903. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home.
With over 8,000 square feet of all the latest trends in lighting and plumbing fixtures, Great House Fixtures has all the brands you know and love, such as Visual Comfort Lighting and Delta Faucets. Their experienced staff can help you design and select the perfect fixtures for your uniquely you home, including sinks, tubs, faucets, custom showers, indoor and outdoor lighting, chandeliers, mirrors, hardware, and more. Make your house a great house. Learn more at greathousefixtures.com, located on 0th Street in Fort Smith. Great House Fixtures by J&B Supply.
Van Alma Tire Center is always right around the corner from you with all the major brand tires for you to choose from. Bridgestone, Firestone, Cooper, and more. Turn into Van Alma Tire Center for all your tire needs, alignments, oil changes, brakes, and more. With service you can depend on. Van Alma Tire Center is your one-stop shop for all your vehicle and tire needs. Right around the corner at 6805 Alma Highway, 5 miles east of Van Buren and 2 miles west of Alma.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Maybe somewhere near the back, where the bouncers wanna tag.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
And those who are out on the interstates right now, you got an accident about a mile and a half south of Highway 64 in Clarksville. It's on Highway 109. Another one that is right there by Knoxville on Interstate 40, traveling eastbound. It's really the only portion right now of Interstate 40 that's dealing with any slipperiness with slush on the highway. Interstate 49 from Alma up to Fayetteville is clear. Once you get into Fayetteville, you're dealing with some slush. And there's still ice patches on the road around Fort Smith. So we are not quite out of the woods yet, although it looks like the weather should get, well, I mean, this is saying it in certain terms, better. Better, meaning we're not going to have little bits of ice falling from the sky in Fayetteville tonight. I know Central Arkansas is going to be dealing with that a little bit more. So portions of the state be dealing with what we've had for these past couple of days.
Everybody be safe out there. And yeah, Phil, thanks for correcting me. Gronk has won 4 Super Bowls. I know I'd said he'd won 2, but I was cutting him short too.
Steve Andrews had tweeted in, Gronk won 3 rings with the Pats, 1 with the Bucks. You were right, though, about Wes Welker. He did not win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I knew he had a lull
6
there.
years with New England.
Yeah.
Remember the wondering, like, oh, what's wrong with New England? They haven't won a Super Bowl in like 5 years.
That Randy Moss team that went undefeated regular season, I mean, one of the best teams to ever. They're like, you used to have the Golden State Warriors that both broke the Chicago Bulls win season record and lost the NBA Finals, best team ever. That Patriot team with Randy Moss was the best team I've ever seen not win an NFL championship.
Is that the only Hall of Fame receiver that Brady threw to?
You know, Deion Branch was a stud there for a little bit, then he took more money and went to Seattle.
Not in Canton, though.
He's not in Canton, no, but I'm trying to think of just good receivers. Mike Evans is he's probably the best receiver he had in Tampa. Just if you're saying natural talented receiver, the kid from A&M that Johnny Manziel threw to. But he had 2 of the best tight ends to ever play the game in Aaron Hernandez and Rob Gronkowski.
There's one kind of at least common vein in their careers, and they're totally different quarterbacks. And Marino never won a Super Bowl, but Marino, I remember, I don't think he ever threw to a Hall of Fame receiver unless Duper's made it in the last few years. And Brady, maybe only one that I can think of. All right, into the second hour of halftime. Stay with us.
Have a loan with a variable to balloon rate? That might be a problem if it's due to reprice soon. Let Farm Credit fix your problem with a long-term fixed interest rate loan. Farm Credit's terms are the longest in the ag industry, ensuring you'll have peace of mind for years to come. At Farm Credit, you have nothing to lose. When rates begin to drop, you can easily readjust your rate again with no refinancing application, no new appraisals, no new title work. We make it simple. Find a Farm Credit office near you at myaglender.com. Equal housing lender.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Drs. Sparkman, Nanda, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man. Do you own a business that needs more security? Or maybe you just want a better look and more curb appeal? A new fence from The Fence Man can give you both. In business for more than 40 years, The Fence Man can custom install any type of fencing, gates, and controlled access for your business. Call The Fence Man and ask about 18 months same as cash financing with approved credit. 479-782-3936. That's 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind everyone to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I'd also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify.
The homestead tax credit can save you up to $375 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, dry weather across the north, still looking at freezing rain. Across the south, we may see trace amounts of additional accumulations. Our high temperatures today into the low to mid 30s. Now, freezing drizzle, freezing rain, and sleet possible tonight, and overnight low into the upper 20s to low 30s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Carco Auto Sales. Give them a call at 783-1722 or check them out online at buyfromcarco.com.
Proceed. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3.
It's what I always listen to.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
You said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I put my heart up. Let's go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Rock on three! 1, 2, 3! Turn that down,
Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Welcome into hour number 2 of halftime here on it's a wet Wednesday. Yeah, it is, because this stuff's going to melt eventually. 877-377-6963 for a call or a text. We'll have Alyssa Orange from Pig Trail Nation coming up in the next segment. Just saw this story about a 60-year-old man in Alberg, Vermont, who participated in a brawl in the stands of a middle school basketball game. This gentleman died from injuries suffered during the fight. My gosh, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Fights in the stands of elementary school, middle school basketball games. And a 60-year-old man who, he was not just watching the fight. Apparently, he took part in it. In a town of 2,100, so a town where everybody knows each other, and the rivalries, I guess, kind of turn into real hatred with towns that are not that far away. Wow. What is going on when we've got fights in the stands of, this isn't even a high school game. These are middle schoolers. This is 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. I mean, they're anywhere from age 10 to 13. And this is what we're showing these kids how to operate inside the realm of competition. Just amazing. Learn a lesson from this, and feel sorry and terrible for the gentleman who lost his life in this fight. But hopefully a lesson to be learned from this. Let's not be fighting in the stands. I mean, one of the weird things about this too is I remember after the shutdown ended and we got back to whatever normalcy was going to look like. And normalcy turned into a heck of a lot of fights in the stands at NBA games, NFL games, college football games, NHL games, where the fights in the stands are even, worse and harder fought than the fights on the ice. Let's try to end this kind of thing, man. It's not just standing there holding hands, singing Kumbaya, but what are we doing? We're fighting in the stands of games that are involving 10-year-olds.
I've been a part of a couple games where you see some people kind of get into it. Most fights I've seen are in practice against teammates, but Warren Sapp, he was at Oakland playing in Jacksonville, and he got thrown out of the game, a couple personal flags, and some of the fans said something to him. And my thought is, dude, Warren Sapp will crush you. Like, you're a regular fan sitting up there like, why, what, and Sapp's not the part, but nothing happened. But I've never been a part of it where I've actually seen it. You kind of hear him talking and stuff, but it's more bark than bite.
Well, I mean, it's one thing and really stupid to do it, to, challenge one of the combatants on a field to, run up into the stands and come at me or something like that. I mean, we all remember The
Malice in the Palace.
The Malice in the Palace, and what that was like. You know, I've seen minor league baseball games where there were fans that shouted racial epithets at players, and they got chased down for it by the player. You know, that's really stupid to do. But when the people that are actually there to watch the game, you don't see that like very often in like a minor league game, because nobody, you know, feels that strongly about the players. You know, they do in the majors, and obviously they do in certain middle schools, and certainly in this situation. It's just I don't get it. And maybe part of it is that I'm a little pacifist at times, but there is the ability to just walk away from something like that, and that teaches the lesson in and of itself.
Phil, that's me too. It's not that important to me. It's like, I don't know why you're so mad wanting to fight. It's like, I'm gonna just go keep living my life. I'm gonna go over here and eat my soup, and it's not gonna change my life one bit. But I'm sorry you're angry at the world. You keep being mad and angry and want to fight somebody, but it ain't me. It ain't me, babe.
Soup is a happy thing. Soup will make everybody feel better about things.
I don't know that I've been into a fight since it's been years. It's like I have no desire to get into a fight. Like that's just just no desire.
I haven't been involved. Well, part of it, I don't know, Matt. I mean, you know, like you're big. You're a big guy. Maybe some people wouldn't feel like challenging.
I haven't been challenged for a fight in a while, but I guess that should be the thing. But I don't go looking for it though.
Right.
Like, you know, I don't initiate. I'm just like, man, y'all stay over there. I'm gonna go over here.
A little different than me. You know, I think I probably give like 8 inches to you as far as height. And look, I mean, I'm pacifist about this. I'm never going to be put in the situation. I'm not going to put myself in that situation where I end up fighting somebody, because
I really
smart
don't.
asses just kind of handle it that way.
Yeah, and I don't need to go to the dentist office or go get my hand looked at and all these things, man. I'd rather just keep living my life.
Jeremiah puts it in good terms here. Nobody is worth my freedom. You're right. You're right about that. Because you know, if you get involved in a fist fight at a middle school game, you're going to be thrown in the slammer for a little bit.
But how like uneducated does that make you look too? It's like, bro, these are like 11-year-old kids out here playing sports, and then you're the adults and you can't keep it together. Okay, all right, man.
We ended up seeing like the kids on the floor. It's a basketball game. The kids on the court there, and like they must be looking up into the stands like, what the heck is going on?
I'll drive home. Just go wait in the car. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah. The kids are the adults in this case. So I feel terrible that this man lost his life, but I hope this is the kind of thing we can really kind of avoid in youth sports and all sorts of sports. Anyway, 877-377-6963. Music started a little bit early. So we'll take the break, and there it goes. All right, so Alyssa Orange coming up in a moment here. Happy National Signing Day.
Oh, I saw some of that, right?
Feels weird, man. It feels weird. And we're just used to this by now, because National Signing Day in February is just late signing day. Arkansas bringing in 6 signees today, and they're all players that we've talked about in the last few weeks. 5 transfers, the 2 defensive backs from Baylor, Snacks Johnson, Al Walcott.
Snacks Johnson.
You gotta appreciate a nickname like that with 2 X's on the end of it.
Oh man, I can't wait for him to get a pick 6.
That's exactly right. That's why he's called Snacks, because he eats up opposing quarterbacks' passes.
Crab cakes and sack lunches.
Yep. Isaac Tesla, the tall receiver from Division II Hillsdale.
His highlights, Phil. Every time you look at him, you're excited that he's a Razorback. I mean,
one-handed catches.
Oh man, they said don't catch with 2 hands till you make your first Pro Bowl though. So chill out. But let's use 2 in the SEC.
I kind of wonder if that's how he's going to get open. You know, I mean, getting open in Division II is a heck of a lot different than getting open in the SEC.
I'm telling you, and I've just watched a little film. He's going to be slid down a little bit, matched up with linebackers and deep nickelbacks, not necessarily the cornerbacks where it's going to struggle. I think he's going to be. What I've seen on film, I can see why. Dan Enos, KJ Jefferson, man, I'd be calling him. I'd be trying to find out what class he's going to. We'd be hanging out if I'm the quarterback with Tesla, putting him there, because I think he's going to make a lot of plays for us.
Well, and you get that with the other really tall receiver from Bowling Green, the tallest receiver in all of college football, Tyrone Broden, 6'7", which reminds me that if Anthony Black would have chosen the football route, he would be the tallest receiver in college football at 6'7".
I think he made the right choice, though. But, yeah, Anthony Black would be the same. Man, he would be a stud. He's very natural. He's physical. We get him over here. I don't think Musselman would let him come over here and go through two-a-days, but he made the right choice. Kind of like Connor Nolan made the right choice with baseball, not just because he can do it, but yeah.
I mean, really, I'd be interested to see Anthony Black play football. I didn't watch any of his highlights or anything like that, but add some more muscle. I mean, he's got the frame. I don't know what he weighs right now, but at 6'7" with that frame, he could bulk himself up into an Antonio Gates type football player.
Little H-back right there. You're exactly right. If this basketball didn't work out, which I think it will, but that would be his fallback. He'd just go into the combine and be a tight end. And you look at that, the Kittle guy from San Francisco. Tell me Anthony Black couldn't do that right there. So he could definitely be an all-world tight end if he wanted to.
And then there's Al Walcott, defensive back out of Baylor. I think Walcott's the safety. Johnson is the cornerback. So, and you apparently they received the fax or the piece of paper with the signed name on it from Shamar Easter. The tight end out of Ashdown, who he's postponed his signing ceremony till tomorrow. People are a little nervous about that. It's just because of weather, and only because of weather. So you've got your signees, and I think that leaves 9 scholarships to play with for the next round.
Right after spring ball, you get another little window.
Well, 9's a lot, too, really. I mean, I don't think you want to be stuck with 9 scholarships to hand out to your preferred walk-ons or anything like that. So I think you're going to end up with a really active situation for this Arkansas roster after spring ball.
And you want to get the right guys in here, Phil. I think Coach Pittman's doing that. Just because you got 9 doesn't necessarily mean you use them. And maybe you do have a preferred walk-on, a guy that's been here 2 or 3 years that's doing everything the right way, and you give him one of those scholarships. I mean, he's obviously earned it. But I like, don't just give out scholarships if they're not going to be the right guy, the right type of player you're looking for.
All right, we can break. And Alyssa Orange coming up in just a moment here on Halftime. You can get your questions in for Alyssa or for us at 877-377-6963. Other things we'll have coming up here on Halftime today. Still got it. The one thing I know, the one thing I don't know about Arkansas baseball, with 16 days before the start of the college baseball season, a little Super Bowl talk, and of course Tom Brady has announced his retirement earlier today, so that's been the biggest story across sports. Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio in hour number 3 on National Signing Day. We'll see any of the other big stories, if there are a lot of big stories out there. Remember that quarterback, Jaden Rashada from Pittsburgh, California, the kid who signed for the $13 million deal at Florida, only to have the Gators renege on the deal, or their NIL collective renege on the deal. He has signed with Arizona State, and he says that was his dream school. Interesting. Alyssa Orange joins us next.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business, on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
When you need a plumber, call the name you know and trust, Ashley Air. The same great people that take care of your heating and cooling system can also meet your plumbing needs. Right now, take $50 off any plumbing repair or get a $129 drain cleaning plus a 2-year parts and labor warranty. Restrictions apply. If you have clogged drains, Ashley Air is the one to call. Go to AshleyAir.com to schedule your plumbing service. That's AshleyAir.com. Proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
Looking for a new ATV? Then you sure don't want to miss the 1+1 sale going on at Auto Finders and Adventure Oklahoma in Roland. Buy a new 2022 CF Moto during their 1+1 ATV sales event and receive a free 2-year warranty that includes a 1-year factory and 1-year CF Moto Care extended protection. See Auto Finders and Adventure Oklahoma in Roland or view a complete list of inventories online at AutoFindersOK.com, where your search ends and adventure begins. Offer does not include Gen 2 C-Force 400 and 500 models.
And we're back with breaking news. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any Coke fan, so make sure you... Jim. Jim. We're on the air.
Ooh, yes, this tastes like the best Coke ever to me. Your thoughts, Jen?
Well, can I have a sip?
Jen, we're in the middle of reporting the news.
I need to try it first.
Late breaking news. Central Hydraulics has teamed up with Wacker Neuson to meet your ever-growing equipment needs. Wacker Neuson offers loaders, excavators, skid steers, telehandlers, and more. Central Hydraulics is also your Gates Hydraulic Hose Center. Stop by today at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith. Central Hydraulics, helping you move the world.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
Call Randy Milam in Alma or Brandon Zimmerman in Bartley.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
One of our favorite times of the week here to talk with Alyssa Orange, anchor at Pig Trail Nation, and a friend of us here on Halftime. Alyssa, how are you? First of all, happy National Women and Girls in Sports Day today. That's certainly something to celebrate when we have you on here. One of the winners of Arkansas Sportscaster of the Year. Seeing more women win those awards in the last few years. So, is it? Let me just ask a question up front about this. Is it difficult or challenging to be a woman in the world of sports media?
It used to be a little more, not so much now. I think there definitely are still challenges that women face, just from a credibility standpoint. But I think that people who are worth their salt understand that women are just as credible and can be just as credible as men in this industry. People who don't, I just don't have time for that. But yeah, I think there's a lot of women before us who kind of paved the way to prove that we deserve to be here just as much as anybody else.
Well, Alyssa, we always enjoy having you on the show. Before we get into Arkansas, I do want to ask you maybe a Tom Brady story. What's your favorite Tom Brady moment as the legend Tom Brady hangs him up?
Keep in mind, Dolphins fan here.
I'm a Dolphins fan,
maybe did Miami beat Tom Brady? Maybe there's a time. It doesn't have to be a win.
Sure, exactly. No, there were many a times the Dolphins
Alyssa, I'm 0-3 versus Tom Brady anyway, so don't. Yeah.
So, but I remember when Tom Brady got hurt that one year, and the Dolphins had Ricky Williams and Ronnie Brown in the backfield, and the Wildcat kind of came about, and they beat New England for the first time in a long time. That was a lot of fun. But I will say, I had the pleasure of covering 2 Super Bowls for the company, and they were both in Houston and then Minneapolis. And, of course, that one in Houston was the comeback against the
Atlanta Falcons. Yeah.
And then they lost to the Eagles that following year. But the 2 that I got to cover involved Tom Brady and the Patriots, and so that's kind of cool.
Very nice.
Yeah. My favorite Tom Brady moment is when he retired, and I believed it. Although maybe when he
left the Patriots.
Yeah, when he left the Pats.
Yeah.
As a fan of a team in the AFC, it was when he left the Pats. And I knew my team wouldn't have to be fighting him. Then again, I don't know how close Pittsburgh is to making it to an AFC championship game anyway. You just know you're not. I mean, this is an unrivaled career. Whether you like him or don't like him, everybody can at least admit. And I feel it's like the same way about Derek Jeter. You didn't have to like him. You didn't have to be a fan of the Yankees. You just had to admit it's just kind of an unrivaled career, the kind of career that you don't see and you probably don't see again.
Yeah, I really do think that at the end of the day, I appreciate him for leaving the Patriots and going to play for the Bucks, only so that I could really, truly appreciate what he was able to accomplish in the career that he had without that Patriots taste in my mouth a little bit at the last 2 years of the career. So it's been fun to watch, and I think I started to kind of like him and who he was and enjoyed just not being jaded by he's a Patriot and I just watch him beat my team all the time. He will definitely be the greatest quarterback to ever play the game. Until someone can surpass him, that's going to be tough. I don't think that's going to happen. So
we won't see anything like it, I don't think, in our lifetime. There'll be some more talented guys that come out and have better attributes than Brady, but just the winning nature and what he was able. I think 10 Super Bowls, something crazy like that. I just don't know that we'll see that again.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty cool to be able to say that we did see it.
All right, so you were inside the Bud last night for Arkansas over A&M. I was watching on television. It sounded like a good crowd. What was the atmosphere like? How many people do you think were in there yesterday? And then we can get to the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got to see the numbers, around 9,000. But how about the students? They said around 3,400 students, the largest students to come to a game under Eric Musselman. And obviously, just like last week against LSU, they kind of let them sit wherever. So that was kind of cool because the students always stand up and they cheer. And then instead of a couple of sections just standing, there were pockets of people standing all over and cheering with students spread out the arena. And that was really cool. But it was loud, and it got kind of loud in there at certain points of the game, especially at that Ricky Council dunk, which I was down shooting at that time, and holy moly, that was awesome. And it got really loud after that.
I was going to say spring hasn't sprung yet, but he definitely springy, man. He's got it going on. I love the fact that it couldn't happen to two better guys, the Mitchell twins getting to start together on their birthday, and I think that's just a testament not only to how good they are, but how they handle themselves and how they go about it, doing things the right way.
Yeah, absolutely. Those two have just worked really, really hard, and obviously Mackay has been in that starting lineup really since the beginning, but you really got to tip your cap to Mikkel, who has worked to get in that lineup as well. And last night almost had a double-double, 13 rebounds, and I think, 7 blocks last
Played
night.
big, yeah.
It was, And Eric Musselman joked, Danielle said, you got to put the Mitchell twins in the starting lineup. It's their birthday. And so he did, but we all know that Musselman's not going to do it if he doesn't think it's going to be successful. And I think that he is seeing now playing big and starting that bigger lineup because Mikkel Mitchell has come along and him and his brother can play together successfully. We might see this being that winning formula moving forward.
Well, Alyssa, you know how many turnovers that they had combined? We talk about how good they both had 0 turnovers, so I love it as well. Yeah. And then you keep Jordan Walsh. Phil brought this up. when you might have a lineup that starts the game, but the lineup that ends the game, you want Jordan Walsh out there at the 4. And so anything to do to be able to keep him out of foul trouble, you need him out there. In my opinion, you need him out there those last 4 minutes because he's the best. I mean, as far as matching up against 4, Jordan Walsh is just as athletic as anybody at that 4 position in the SEC.
Yeah, he is, and he's learning, and he's just a freshman. I mean, the ceiling is unlimited for this kid who's still just learning what it's like to play at the collegiate level in the SEC, and he's going to get smarter with his defense, and he's not going to foul as much, and we've seen him take a big, giant step forward in that direction already. So if you could have, the Mitchells, Jordan Walsh, Anthony Black on the court, and keep them on the court, this Arkansas team is turning things around. 3 in a row right now, probably going to make it 4 conference games on the road against South Carolina, knock on wood. So this could be the turning point that we've kind of been waiting to see.
Well, as long as he keeps listening to Danielle as far as who he should put in the starting lineup, either Miss Danielle or his dog, because that's who he basically chalks up the decisions to. They'll tell him those things. The women's team, though, took, that game on Sunday was like a kick in the teeth to a team that played just an incredible first half, leaned on the starters so heavily. Mike said after the game that he'd asked them, how many minutes can you give me, because we got a week until the next game. And you could lay it on running out of gas, but they still had the lead with 7 seconds left, and Ole Miss scores with 0.4 of a second, forcing overtime. It's just that was a tough one, and it's 4 losses in a row after 4 wins in a row. Look, right now they're still. If you look at bracketology, they're on a 9 seed. But Mike said, and I found this interesting after Sunday's game, with what's coming up in the future, and with these 4 losses in a row, the season goes one way or another starting now. February is when you really make your resume, for the tournament. So it'll go one way or the other, and you got to start winning games, and they got to go on the road for the next one.
Yeah, Phil, we were talking last week, this is an Arkansas team that's competing for that number 3 spot, got to beat Tennessee in the league. And so we were looking ahead, it was that Alabama and that Ole Miss game you had to win. Those had to win. They were at home. It's a coming off a break playing LSU and South Carolina. And both of those games kind of ending in heartbreaking fashion and make you just be like, what is happening? And so it's going to be tough, and we're going to really see what this women's team is made of. They've got talent. They've got young talent, though, and we've talked about that. But how are they going to rise to the occasion and make a run in February? It's not going to be easy. But unfortunately, losing that Alabama game and that Ole Miss game, it's going to make that road a lot tougher than had you won those 2 games. And so we're going to see exactly how this women's team responds. Hopefully, you go through that 4-game losing streak and you start another winning streak. But you kind of sit here and hold your breath a little bit with this women's team, the way that they've been playing the last 2 games.
Well, they've had trouble closing games out, and that happened in December, and that's happened a few times in the month of January. And I think maybe one of the reasons is, you got a rotation that's about 8 deep. But they're really leaning heavily on the starters as far as production's concerned. I mean, you bring Riley Langerman off the bench. She's a defensive, someone who stars more defensively. Mariam and Jersey aren't necessarily giving you great minutes off the bench on a consistent basis. And that's one aspect that looking into this next month, you're leaning on these starters really heavily. And that's one reason why maybe they've had trouble closing games out, just kind of running out of gas for the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, I think you can see that a little bit. I don't want to blame tiredness. I don't know if that's necessarily a great word, but you can see, running out of gas a little bit. I mean, even Aaron making a couple free throws there late in that Ole Miss game. It's a different ball game. But still, you can't even say much. She scored over 30 points in that game. Mm-hmm. She has given it everything she has, but she needs a break, and that's when you're looking at someone like Mariam to come in and play a whole lot more minutes than she already is. So can that transition happen? Can she take a step forward and allow Aaron Barnum to have some breaks there so that Aaron is stronger at the end of games? Because that's what you need, a strong Aaron Barnum at the end of these games, and not an Aaron Barnum who has kind of worn herself out because she's playing so hard and so much.
Alyssa, how fired up are you for the stick and ball sports? Because you get softball.
Oh, my gosh.
Softball. Doesn't
Yes.
softball start next week? Because they always start a week ahead of
Next
baseball.
week?
We're
Yes,
like 2
so
weeks
they
away from
start next
baseball.
week.
So you get high expectations
I'm
for
so
both
pumped.
of these programs. And on an annual
Yeah.
basis, Alyssa, we're used to that for baseball. I mean, it's Omaha or bust every year. Still waiting to get to Oklahoma City. Hopefully this is the year for softball.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's really the expectation for Courtney Deifel in this season as they get ready. Our Courtney Mims actually just sat down with Courtney Deifel earlier this morning, and excited to share that interview. We're going to do this is the first time we're going to do a preseason softball special, and it's because the women are a top 10 team. They deserve the recognition, they deserve the attention, and we're excited to showcase that next week before the season starts. Obviously, we'll have one for baseball too, but I'm pumped. I mean, I grew up playing softball. That is my sport that I played my whole life, and so I think I just have a little bit of a deeper love for baseball and softball. You know that, and I'm excited to see the women play. They're a good, talented team, and then I'm just always excited for baseball. Baseball is, I think, my heart and soul is really in baseball. I love all the other sports, but I think baseball is really where my heart is, so I'm excited.
You know me too. Same thing. Alyssa, we'll leave it there. Appreciate you hopping on. Thank you for all you do covering Arkansas athletics, and especially coming on Halftime Weekly.
Well, thank you, guys. I appreciate you.
Thanks, Alyssa.
Alyssa, Orange Pig Trail Nation. Yeah, just like Arkansas baseball starts the season with a tournament on the road in Arlington, softball begins the season in Las Vegas 9 days from today. Play against Weber State, UNLV, Southern Utah, and Baylor. They're going to be in, I guess they'll be in Vegas for like 3 or 4 days. Not a bad place to start your season. Huh?
Not bad at all. Go for them, man. That's super cool. Go out there, get a couple dubs.
That's right. It's February. It is stick and ball time. We get pitchers and catchers reporting to spring training in a couple of weeks. Oh, that's right. The sun is going to come through the clouds any moment now. And hopefully the ice stops falling. Halftime back after this.
The world is always changing, and our lives change right along with it. So when you need a bigger space for that gym or remote office, a larger kitchen, or a yard to run around in, your local Weichert agent can help. And when your life changes again, and you're looking for that cozy place for just the two of you, your Weichert agent can help then too. Because at Weichert Realtors, we know that no matter how the world changes around you, we'll take you home. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
While most of us are familiar with the opioid epidemic, we forget about the threat we faced for decades, methamphetamine. Meth is our biggest drug threat, and the number of people dying each year continues to grow. It's destroying our communities. You know, you've seen it. It might not have been your kid or your parent, but it was someone you know. To find ways to help, go to meovermeth.org. Choose your community. Choose your family. Choose yourself. I choose me over meth.
This message is sponsored by the North Arkansas Partnership for Health Education and the Me Over Meth grant.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all. When you stay overnight, you want the accommodations to feel comfortable and feel like home. Well, at Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, you get exactly that. You can check out all their locations at bphotels.com. They have locations in Fayetteville, Bentonville, Little Rock, Jonesboro, Conway, El Dorado, Arkadelphia, North Little Rock, Bryant, Hot Springs, Ardmore, Oklahoma, and coming soon to Kansas City. bphotels.com. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, looking forward to serving you in 2023.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd.
Yesterday, and he played the full 40 against LSU without fouling at all. This around the same time that some of the focus on this basketball team is trying to defend without fouling, and yet their best defender is doing exactly that on a game-by-game basis, and he's filling up the cup.
Absolutely a joy to watch. And yeah, Phil, the veteran, the older you get, you shouldn't be fouling out of games. Players don't make a living fouling out of games, but he has been an absolute joy to watch. He's turned the page. I love the fact that he's getting in and getting shots up every day. He's getting in and prehabbing. He understands, man. He's a veteran guy, and it reminds me of the story you saw the deal on Kobe Bryant on the Redeem team when they all get down there and wherever, if it's Puerto Rico, Dominican, wherever they go out to do their thing. And the first night, all the guys go out, and they're coming back into the hotel lobby about 4 a.m. in the morning, and guess who they see in their workout gear is Kobe Bryant, the best player in the world, going to get a workout in. So they all started to change their routine, and next thing you know, they're all in there working out and not worried about it. That's what Debo's doing. He's doing it, and you see the fruits of his labor. It's paying off watching him in the game. He has just been a joy to watch these last few games.
Again, the outside shooting for Devo is the thing that has just gotten so much better. Really, the last 5 games.
But they're open shots, Phil. I know we talked about this. Like his shot selection, it's then the fluidity of the offense, and it's not pressing anywhere. It's just like, man, when I'm open on this corner 3, I'm going to knock it down. Jordan Walsh shot a couple in rhythm. Ricky Council's still a little too much for my liking, but you can't take that out of his DNA. You know, he's the guy that's out there that he's going to fire But yeah, Devo's, I think his slot, I mean, he was 7 of 13 again. That very efficient for an undersized guard, being 4 of 8, 50% from the three-point. Man, you take that every game.
Remember, like earlier in the year, when you're like, all right, Nick Smith Jr., when he finally gets back from the first knee injury, whose minutes are you going to get? Now, a lot of us were like, well, he's going to get Devo's minutes, or at least he's going to take some of those minutes away. I want those guys on the court at the same time.
Absolutely.
And again, this is an if and a when. This is an if and a when. Judging by what Nick said on Twitter yesterday, I think he hears those who don't believe he's going to play or that he ever had a thought that he wanted to play for Arkansas. He hears that. And I can understand what he's saying. Why would I enroll at school? Why would I even enroll at school right now if I didn't have a plan to come back and play for this team? Man, I tell you, with it's a team that still has its flaws. I mean, you're not going to win too many games when you turn it over 17 times and allow near 50% offensive rebounding rate to your opponent. So maybe the legs for A&M did have something to do with it. Although they
looked a little tired. They look a little worn out, like they'd had a long day.
Well, it's all right. It's a long day, but I'll just play devil's advocate here with this. It's not like they walked from Tulsa to Fayetteville. It's not like they pulled up in the bus just before the game and had to get out there and play without having a chance to warm up or even rest or put their feet up. The rhythm of their day was messed up. There's no doubt about that. They couldn't give their little thank you notes that apparently Buzz Williams.
But they were there 6 hours before the game. You're
Exactly.
right. It wasn't like they rolled in 37 minutes before the tip-off.
I mean, they had an 8 o'clock wake up in Tulsa. We're all awake before 8 o'clock.
They're ready. I mean, you get over there, get on the bus, get some breakfast, get your shots up, and then you go back and relax for a second and get ready. I mean, we're their athletes. You know how it is.
90-minute bus ride from Tulsa to Bud Walton Arena. It's not like it was a 5-hour bus ride. I've been on those 5-hour bus rides with baseball teams that get off the bus and then just go take batting practice and play. So it is something that can be done. You can do that. So after the shoot around, they had their shoot around at 11 in the morning and got back to the hotel. Tip-off wasn't until 6. So, I mean, maybe the rhythm of the day was messed up, and I understand athletes and people overall can be just used to their routines, and if the routine gets messed up, then they have a built-in excuse for why they didn't perform very well. Maybe they did look a little bit tired as far as that was concerned. So we can split the baby here and say, maybe it affected you a little bit, but it shouldn't have affected you that much. And thanks for showing up and not, say, we can't make it because of the weather. We'll have to reschedule.
And no excuses, because as players, we can't wait for the next game. It's when's the next game? I'm ready to go. However, we got to get there. Let's go to the next game. So I know.
I like the text here from Jody and Harrison, Maddie. So they got exposed for being the average team they are.
I mean, dude, they won 9 of their last 10. I think that Texas A&M team, it was just a long day playing against a kind of an Arkansas team that's finding their identity and finding who they are and kind of starting to fire a little bit on all cylinders. They just ran into one, and we're not scared of anybody. I'll tell you, that Arkansas Razorback basketball team and Coach Musselman, they'll play anybody anywhere. And I love the fight and the grit and the determination this team plays with, and that's one thing that's why I like it. I mean, be a fun team to be a part of because they play so hard all the time. You know what you're getting.
Well, they're playing like they've got something to play for. That's for sure. And Grant had mentioned, you're going to play a South Carolina team that beat Kentucky, on Kentucky's home court, so you can't outright dismiss South Carolina, or maybe you can.
And us on the road.
They haven't won a game since then.
Well, us on the road, we hadn't proven we can. And so, we got it. It's about time, right? We're due.
So where have the road games been recently? At Vanderbilt, at Missouri.
Gave up 63.5 to Vanderbilt on the road. I mean, that was the worst. That was the
worst half they played this year.
Absolutely.
I'll chalk up the Alabama game to Alabama just being that good that day. But at Vandy, over 60 points, that was the worst that they played. But I agree with you, too. It's like, I have trouble believing you can win on the road until you show me you can win on the road. So do it at South Carolina before you still need your first road win at Rupp. Kentucky's, starting. I mean, they didn't look very good against Kansas, but they had their way yesterday with Ole Miss. A lot of teams have had their ways with Ole Miss.
We got to go to A&M. You don't think they're not going to remember what just happened? That'll be a lot like that Missouri game. It's going to be a fight when we go to A&M. Then, like you said, at Bama, at Tennessee, at Kentucky. Those are our road games. If you're looking at it, South Carolina is the only one that you think that we even have a chance of winning. So this is a game they need to get off the skid and have the freshmen. This is a game where they're not freshmen anymore. You go to South Carolina, you get the W there in Columbia, and you're not freshmen anymore. It's the time to grow up, and the season starts now.
Thank goodness it's not an 11 o'clock game on Saturday. Like, it's one thing to play that in football, 11 in the morning. I hate that for basketball.
We played Vanderbilt one time early. It was those 2:30 games are fun, but those 11 a.m. Those aren't that fun.
Women's basketball has to travel Saturday to play Auburn on the road Sunday. Now, that's a team that has played really well on the road this year. In fact, some of their more impressive performances have been on an opponent's home court. Even the loss to LSU, the same LSU team that sold out over 15,000 seats for a Monday night win over Tennessee. That'll be interesting looking into the offseason because there's almost zero excitement surrounding LSU men's basketball in Baton Rouge. That's just a really bad team right now. And Kim Mulkey has lit that city on fire for her program. And they're getting more people for the women's game than they are the men's games right now. You see the same thing at South Carolina quite often. You used to see the same thing at Mississippi State. When the women's program outshines the men's program, it'll certainly get people's eyebrows raised a little bit. I kind of wonder if Matt McMahon is very long for the job in Baton Rouge.
It's not a basketball school. You had a Brandon Bass, a Stromile Swift back in the day, some guys that went to LSU. But when I think LSU, you don't think – we played – speaking of that, Phil, my freshman year – We played either my freshman or sophomore year. We played LSU at LSU on one of those early morning tip-offs. There might have been 800 people in the stands for a boys' basketball. I mean, they didn't care. Like, you can just tell there was no atmosphere, no buzz in the arena, no excitement. It's not really a basketball school for guys' basketball, though. Yep.
It's a football school,
right?
Where
even more baseball, huh? Yeah.
In the baseball park, it's like a football crowd, and now it's women's basketball school as well. All right, we'll break here as we wrap up hour number 2 on halftime. We are starting a new promotion today for Valentine's Day. That's right, at hitthatline.com. Here's what you can win: a romantic stay at the Arlington Resort and Hotel and Spa in Hot Springs. Your stay includes everything that you could want for you and your sweetheart. You'll get a romantic room to relax, a trip to the spa for a couple's massage, a delicious dinner, drinks on the veranda, and everything that there is to see and do in downtown Hot Springs. Plus, our winner gets a 14-karat white gold and ruby pendant and chain from Swift's Jewelry in Fayetteville. It's valued up to $560. You get a large gift card worth $150 to Richard's Country Meat Market and a $150 gift card to Cupid's Lingerie. That's at hitthatline.com. You can enter once per day until February the 13th. And we'll announce the winner Monday, February 13th, during Ruskin and Zach. That's at hitthatline.com. Valentine's Day promotion. Hour number 2 wraps up next.
Art's Barbecue and Burgers has the best burger in town. And every Saturday, enjoy any burger at Art's and get $1 off. Try Art's Bacon Cheeseburger, topped with house-smoked bacon, or the Art Attack with bacon, ham, and a fried egg. And all of Art's burgers come with a mound of fresh-cut fries, or upgrade to Art's homemade onion rings. $1 off all burgers every Saturday at Art's Barbecue and Burgers, 8203 Rogers Avenue, next to Aaron's in Fort Smith.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
With over 8,000 square feet of all the latest trends in lighting and plumbing fixtures, Great House Fixtures has all the brands you know and love, such as Visual Comfort Lighting and Delta Faucets. Their experienced staff can help you design and select the perfect fixtures for your uniquely you home, including sinks, tubs, faucets, custom showers, indoor and outdoor lighting, chandeliers, mirrors, hardware, and more. Make your house a great house. Learn more at greathousefixtures.com, located on 0th Street in Fort Smith. Great House Fixtures by J&B Supply.
Are you mechanically inclined? Do you have the love of recreational vehicles? Breeden RV Center is looking for you to make a difference in their service department. Breeden RV Center is now hiring. If you are willing to learn, then you're the perfect candidate. Stop or call Breeden RV Center located on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Or call Breeden RV Center at 262-2418 to apply or make an appointment. Breeden RV Center is ready to talk to you. Breeden RV Center, where you can start your adventure.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work. Real work. Working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith. Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Drs. Sparkman, Nanda, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria is the #1 place to watch every Arkansas basketball game this season. The Hogzilla Specialty Pizza is only $16.99. The Hogzilla Specialty Pizza is made with pulled pork from Newmeyer's Rib Room, sausage, Canadian bacon, pepperoni, crispy bacon, and cheese. Dusted with Newmeyer's Rib Rub. Hop on the Must Bus for every Arkansas basketball game at Papa's. 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
7 years to get me here.
Well, here on the day that late signing period begins, Alabama has locked down 9 5-star recruits. This on the 24/7 Sports Composite rankings. 9 5-star recruits. Arkansas has had 5 5-star recruits ever. This is 9 in 1 year.
Whoa.
For a program that doesn't even have any coordinators at the moment. Nick Saban does not have a coordinator for offense or for defense.
What about your boy Kingsbury? Don't you? Would he be a guy that? I mean, I know that's we don't. I mean, just think it because it seems like who he gets when Saban the last decade or so, he gets a splash higher. He's not going to go get somebody like I thought Kellen Moore might be good if he wanted to, but he took a better job. But you got to think he's going to bring in somebody sexy.
I agree, and I forget the name of the Washington offensive coordinator that just announced he's going to go back to Washington. On the defensive side, you're looking at maybe Todd Grantham, maybe Jeremy Pruitt. But, Kingsbury, I don't know. It's like if I was in his position, and I don't know what it's like to be in that position, but if I was, I might take a year. I might just take a year. Although, these opportunities, whether or not Nick Saban offers it to him or not, these opportunities aren't going to come every single year.
Right.
But, I don't know. If I knew I'd be making $5.5 million to not work, and I know that I'm still I mean, what is Kingsbury? He's in his early 40s?
He's not much older than me because he was in college when I want to say I was in about 7th, 8th grade. So I wouldn't put him 48. He's not 50 yet.
I think he's – the other thing, it's a moment you can just, you know what? I don't need a job right now, and I'll come up with exactly what I want to do months after I get back from Thailand, because I guess he's still there. Harry Dog in Fayetteville wants your boy Byron Leftwich to go to Alabama.
Dude,
he thinks he'd be a fit.
B left, he would kill it there. National champs already. Like B left, he loves ball, players love him. That was one thing about being around him. I was only around him for 2 years. Great teammate. Great, absolute one of the best teammates I ever had. He'd be a good fit. He's super smart, loves ball, like a lot like Dal Loggins. Like just wants to go watch film, go dissect film. I mean, just absolutely loves it.
Never been a college coach though, right? I mean, he went right into the NFL.
He was on the golf course when was it Bruce Arians came and got him, and because he'd made a lot of money playing, and then he didn't have to, and so he kind of got bored, I think, and they went and got him, and he's just uber talented as well.
And maybe Alabama is the sort of situation again. You don't have a coordinator, you don't have an offensive coordinator, you don't have a defensive coordinator, and I'm sure. Pete Golding and Bill O'Brien did at least a little bit of recruiting over the last year or so, at least a little bit, I'm assuming.
9 5-stars, yeah.
Yeah. So do you necessarily need to be a guy who has recruited before to be able to recruit to Alabama? Or is that just a place that kind of, for a while now, has recruited itself? It's just, this was theoretically a down year with 2 losses. Both by a field goal or less than a field goal, and you didn't make the playoffs. And I mean, I was having a conversation with Roger Hoover, who does the women's basketball broadcasts for Alabama, and he's also on the pregame for football and everything. And he mentioned about the College World Series ring that I got, and he has, that's a cool looking ring. Look at that, that's awesome. And I'd mentioned about other rings that you see across the landscape at Arkansas for this and that, Outback Bowl and making the Elite Eight or things. I don't think the basketball team did that for the Elite Eight.
But the Final Four got one, though, didn't they?
Yeah.
We got one for the Music City Bowl, Phil, when.
I don't think Alabama did rings for the Sugar Bowl. That's what I'm getting at. It's all a matter of, what your expectations are, I guess.
Yeah, they haven't stormed the field in 17 years either. So, exactly, yeah,
I haven't heard whether or not there's going to be a Liberty Bowl ring. And I'm legit asking whether or not there's going to be one, because I think there are some programs that would do a bowl ring just to make a bowl, just like
the Cotton Bowl, you would think. They gave us a Cotton Bowl watch. A Cotton Bowl ring would have been just as sharp, too.
Yeah, but I don't think Alabama did rings for the Sugar Bowl. At least they haven't yet. All right, hour number 3 of halftime coming up right after the break.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
Hey, this is Jason Christie from Park Hill, Oklahoma, the 2022 Bassmaster Classic champion. I'm excited to tell you about the Booyah Poppin' Pad Crasher Jr. It is a smaller version of the Poppin' Pad Crasher, and it's a bait I'm going to use all summer on the Arkansas River. Frog fishing is one of my favorite things to do when summer fishing, and Poppin' Pad Crasher Jr. is the right size and has the right hook set up to catch them. It's available at lurenet.com and tackle stores everywhere. The Booyah Poppin' Pad Crasher Jr.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind everyone to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I'd also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the Homestead Tax Credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify.
The Homestead Tax Credit can save you up to $375 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor. Wheeler Power Sports has their showroom packed to help you jumpstart your spring adventures. Off-road accessories such as sound bars, light bars, roofs, windshield, wheel, tire kits, and more. Looking for a new off-road or street vehicle? They're loaded with Polaris, Kawasaki, Suzuki, Kimco, and KO units. Give them a call at 479-783-5822. Online at WheelerPowersports.com. Wheeler Powersports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment? Not having enough home time? Feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit PatriotTransport.com to apply. That's PatriotTransport.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, dry weather across the north, still looking at freezing rain. Across the south, we may see trace amounts of additional accumulations. Our high temperatures today into the low to mid 30s. Now freezing drizzle, freezing rain, and sleet possible tonight, and overnight low into the upper 20s to low 30s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Carco Auto Sales. Give them a call at 783-1722 or check them out online at buyfromcarco.com.
Here we go. From the Bushlight Studios, this is ESPN 95.3.
For this town is a pigskin paradise.
KERX, Paris, Fort Smith.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I'm putting my heart, dog. Let's go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Yes, sir. Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! On three! 1, 2, 3! Turn that back, Drew!
Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Hour number 3 of halftime on this cold, icy Wednesday across the natural state. Phil Olsen, Matt Jones, Kristen Johnston is running our studios now. We have said fare thee well to Matty T for the next couple of weeks as he is headed to get married. Good luck and have yourself a lot of fun. So excited about Christian being here. There will be, in the next 15 minutes, a press conference involving Sam Pittman discussing the February signing period and coaching staff changes. And not only will Coach Pittman be speaking, but also the new coaches that have been hired since the last press conference will be speaking. So we'll hear from Dan Enos, from Marcus Woodson, Darren Wilson. Of course, Woodson, the co-defensive coordinator, Wilson coaching in the secondary, and we know Dan Enos is the offensive coordinator. And might be you usually do hear from the coaches at some point, just not before camp starts. So it'll be a rare moment to hear from those guys. Again, that's in about 15 minutes to wrap up the late signing period. Did you see this story, Matt, of at a coaches convention that Sam Pittman was attending in Alabama? Nick Saban made all the headlines by talking about a couple of recruits they basically made money demands. You know, he had a cornerback asked for $800,000, and then another player from the same high school demanded $500,000 and admittance for a family member or a girlfriend to get into Alabama's law school. And Nick Saban basically said he showed them the door. You know, he wasn't going to agree for money to players that haven't, in his eyes, earned the money yet. Now, I wonder. Alabama's in a position where they can turn guys away.
Mm-hmm.
They can turn guys away. I mean, even with these two players that he said he showed the door to, they still have 9 5-stars and the #1 overall recruiting class. I mean, we've seen. I mean, look, the Texas A&M recruiting class from last year that was called the greatest recruiting class in history. It was also the most expensive recruiting class in history. And I don't remember the number, but a lot of those kids aren't with the Aggies anymore. And Texas A&M just suffered through an incredibly bad season. And I think the money given to those kids is one reason why the locker room was so incredibly dysfunctional. So if you're a Nick Saban or you're anybody else that is in a position where, you A, have the money to offer kids like that, B, you've got the cachet of the university, to offer a place to play in the SEC or one of the great conferences in the country. I don't know if Arkansas is necessarily in that boat, but I also view Sam Pittman the same way. Like I would imagine most coaches view it this way. Some can be a little bit more held steadfast to the idea than others, that you don't feel like you can offer money to somebody that hasn't earned that money while he's there with you. And you never know what you're going to get, even from a 5-star recruit out of high school. I mean, that just means they're an incredible athlete. And I'm sure there might be other aspects that go into it, but it's more about the ability to be a great athlete. It doesn't really have very much about the idea of, what's going to happen in the near future for these kids. I can understand where Nick Saban is coming as far as this is concerned. And I wonder if there will be other coaches that start to view it exactly the same way and put that view into practice. Or on the other hand, Matt, there's going to be another coach that says, so this defensive back didn't get $800,000 from Alabama. I'm ready to throw it at him because we've got room in the secondary and I need somebody.
And speaking of recruits, you see, I don't know if it was Dow Loggins again, but South Carolina got the number 39 overall prospect. There's 2 5-stars in the ESPN 300 that haven't signed yet, and a guy from the Maryland area that's a tight end. So that's kind of his specialty. Got in there and committed to South Carolina.
Kids that are in high school for a couple years now have been, they've digested the idea that you no longer work for free as a high school athlete, and it's not just.
And you think it's approached a little bit too, Phil, like how they walk in there to approach it, like acting like. And I had players tell me this when I was a freshman, and then when you go to the rookie symposium, man, you got to be thankful and all the people that came before you, and you're not better than anybody out there. Like, you haven't proven it yet, you haven't done it yet. You get the opportunity to come out here and play this game because people before you were here playing the game. So kind of have that mindset to not come in and say, hey, give me the, whatever, instead of being thankful and humble a little bit. I wonder if that has something to do with how they approach it.
Can you imagine, like, walking into Nick Saban's office, whether you've got your parent there with you or not, and you know what you're about to – I mean, the word is ask. The word is also demand.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is what it takes to bring me to this school. That's a demand. That's not just an ask. It's demanding.
Don't even have a jersey number yet. Yeah.
Haven't even put your name on the paper.
Wow.
Not part of the program yet. That gentleman across the table from you doesn't have any loyalty towards you as you do towards him. At that point, it's just a business transaction, and that's it. It's a difficult place to no, it's not where the relationship starts. Because they get to know each other over the course of a few months.
Yeah.
But you also understand now that the conversations of family and the work that you put into becoming the athlete that you are at the age of 17 and where you see your future and all that, all of those conversations eventually then lead to, all right, what's it going to take to get you here? That has nothing to do with loyalty. That has nothing to do.
The game's changing, right? Didn't Bob Dylan say times are changing? Ron Burgundy's never heard that song. They're definitely things are. It's wild on the frontier right now. It's absolutely outrageous to think that high school kids that haven't done anything at this level, they come in and just demand that type of money. It's outrageous.
Well, and I mean, look, it's different when I think a player is already there on the team and has produced and eventually makes demands towards a coach that he's got the real personal relationship with because he's played with him for a couple of years. I think this has happened at Arkansas in this recent portal class, not on the incoming side, but on the outgoing side, where somebody's like, all right, this is what it's going to take to keep me here. And I think in a lot of cases, a coach is going to feel like he's being held hostage, and it's a difficult place for that coach to be, especially at a place like Arkansas where we can say that there are all these, we got all the money in the world, and I know the name of the corporations that are up there and everything. I just don't think that the Arkansas NIL situation or collective is necessarily like where an Alabama is or an A&M is. I mean, there's a different set of boosters.
Yeah, I think they have money that they can do whatever they want. And the thing about A&M, and I'll say this, and I think this will hold true till the end of time, you're not winning the SEC with a lot of freshmen. They were never winning the SEC with a lot of it takes you, if you have more than 7, 8 freshmen starting on your team, true freshmen, you're probably not that good. It's just how you don't need more than 3 or 4 freshmen. I mean, it's an upperclassman game. I mean, you can have 1 or 2 freshmen play in that football. And like Sean Andrews, I always tell you, best player I played with. I mean, from day one, he showed up. He was better than everybody as a true freshman. So you get Darian McFadden, I never played with, but probably had a lot of the same similarities. I bet when he showed up, he was probably better than everybody. Ronnie Brewer on the basketball court shows up, freshman, better. And you see it more in basketball than you do in football. But you got to have some upperclassmen if you want to win games in the SEC.
JT asks, is this the start of the demise of college athletics? Yes, it's the demise of what you've perceived as college athletics for the last 20, 30 years. There were massive changes that happened at that point, that changed college athletics to what it became and what it is today. The difference, though, in what we're getting at here with this, and the NCAA on January 1st they can actually start to enforce some of the tampering rules, or if there ever were rules, now they can start to enforce these for players that are on teams, that are part of a program already. If you get like the Jordan Addison situation from USC, from Pitt to USC last year, I think if that were to happen now, it'd be a different thing. It'd be a different thing than it was before, because the NCAA actually now on January 1st is able to enforce this in ways that previously they couldn't. They're beefing up. I read Ross Dellinger in Sports Illustrated. He's writing about the NCAA is beefing up the enforcement police of tampering and NIL, with offers going to players that are on some other team. It's a different thing than high schoolers. It's a much different thing than high schoolers who don't belong to a program until they put their name on the dotted line. So it's like it's a whole wild, wild west thing. There isn't any enforcement as far as that's concerned. What that'll take are coaches saying, no, we're not going to give you what you are demanding right now, because I don't even know if you're worth it. Once a player's on the team, you get a sense of their worth. And then now, since it is against the rules to tamper, and theoretically the NCAA is beefing up their police force to enforce this, maybe there will be more enforcement of transfer portal tampering. But as far as high school is concerned, it is still wild, wild west. And the only enforcers, Matt, are the coaches.
Yeah, and then they're a rotating carousel too, and they're transferring here, there, and so they're calling people right away. That's what I forget the coach that was saying you kind of got to re-recruit your own team now. And that's where it's kind of like, man, it's just dragging on, because once you get your guys there, at least you think they're there. But if it's not going right, all of a sudden, other coaches calling them while they're still technically it'd be under contract, and they're not supposed to have any outside touch to them.
Yeah. Again, yes, you're right, JT. It's the demise of college athletics as we know it. College athletics is going to stick around for a good long while. You know what else sticks around for a while? Happiness. After you have a meal from CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers, it just makes you feel good. When you know you just ingested the best burger in the state, and when you know you just ate the best French fries anywhere in the state, then you're going to feel happy about it. So you can stop by CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers at either of their two locations, Russellville at the Arkansas Avenue exit and Fayetteville just west off of the Weddington exit. That's CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best. And the best is Bill King, the king of college football talk. We will get into some of this recruiting stuff with Bill King and college football after this on Halftime.
You could win the ultimate Valentine's Day getaway. Head to hitthatline.com and register to win a getaway to the Arlington Hotel in historic downtown Hot Springs. The ultimate Valentine's Day getaway is brought to you by Swift's Jewelry in Fayetteville, Cupid's Lingerie of Northwest Arkansas, and Richard's Country Meat Market in Fayetteville. No purchase necessary. You can register once per day. Winner will be announced on February 26th. Win the ultimate Valentine's Day getaway at the Arlington Hotel in historic downtown Hot Springs. Thanks to hitthatline.com and ESPN Arkansas.
When you need a plumber, call the name you know and trust. Ashley Air. The same great people that take care of your heating and cooling system can also meet your plumbing needs. Right now, take $50 off any plumbing repair or get a $129 drain cleaning plus a 2-year parts and labor warranty. Restrictions apply. If you have clogged drains, Ashley Air is the one to call. Go to AshleyAir.com to schedule your plumbing service. That's AshleyAir.com. Proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
Let me grab my car keys and we'll roll.
We still going to that new bar downtown?
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. Lexi, give me driving directions from home to downtown Bar District.
Autocorrect. Suggest Uber. Pick up. Home. Drop off downtown Bar District.
No, I'm driving.
Suggest the Metro bus. Departing in 12 minutes.
Huh. Point taken, Lexi. We'll grab a ride.
If you drink, don't drive. Decide to ride. Brought to you in partnership by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber.
The cold and flu seasons are here, and Law's Drug Store has what you need to safely care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all the over-the-counter cold and flu remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointments for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Hi, this is Melissa Vitale, owner of True Grit Running Company. Your young athlete deserves the best when it comes to footwear. After all, it's good to start early so they don't have problems in the future. We've got options for training, cross-country, gym class, and more. Our well-trained staff can guide your student athlete through our personalized fit process to help find that True Grit fit. And for our cross-country kids, we offer a 10% discount off of your total purchase. Visit our store in Fort Smith, located behind Chick-fil-A.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Give them a call or send them a text at 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Joined here on a Wednesday edition of Halftime by Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio, host in the morning 6 until 9, the king of college football talk. And, Bill, I would say happy National Signing Day, but today just feels like an afterthought, although there are kids putting their name on the dotted line, and we've got press conferences from coaches and everything. So is this eventually going to be back to regular signing day in the near future, though?
They're talking about it. December's too busy. It's just too much with the portal beginning in December, with what could happen with coaches, poaching, rosters. It's an ill-fated idea from the beginning. What they ought to do is let you sign somewhere in the summer before your senior year, if you're really that sure about it, and obviously start it before August camp begins, sometime maybe in July, and then let them sign again in the first Wednesday in February. What they've done is they've taken Christmas Day, which was always the first Wednesday in February, for decades and decades, and they've killed it. They've destroyed it. And you're right, a couple of guys, Nicholas Harbor, who is an absolute freak, 6'5", about 230 out of the D.C., Maryland area, and is a world-class Olympic speed guy at that size, is going to sign with South Carolina. So that happened today. That was a good pickup for them, but it's really not a big deal.
Yeah, I just saw that. He looks like a stud, man. It looks like he can play a couple of different positions. We were talking earlier about the OC job at Alabama. Do you think Kingsbury might be a college guy like that, where he hasn't had the success that you would think maybe in the NFL? Could you see Saban getting a guy like that?
I think he's too much of a gunslinger.
Yeah.
And yeah, they throw the ball around, as we know, and when they had all those incredible receivers, that was something to behold. But I think, first and foremost, Nick wants to be physical, and they've lost that. They've lost their level, let's put it that way, of physicality. I just don't think that's a good marriage. Cliff's making a ton of money not to coach. Said he was going to Thailand. You know, I don't know. I don't know if we'll see him at least this year.
Yeah, I don't either. We were. You think that Saban's going to get? Usually, there's a name attached to that OC job. If it's Steve Sarkisian, Bill O'Brien, just the guys that come through there seem to be have some clout to them. That's why I wonder who you thought might get in there. But it makes sense. They did lose that ability to kind of punch you in the mouth a little bit the last couple of years.
By their standards, last 2 years they have not been as good as they want to be on the O-line. And they haven't had a tough guy running back. And the Gibbs kid that they got from Georgia Tech is very explosive, as we know, but he's not physical. And they like to have a combination of that, and they're used to having a combination of that. And as we know, their receiving core, now, again, compared to their predecessors there, were maybe – I'm being nice if I'm saying average.
Yeah, I don't know another set of receivers that was that good. To be honest,
true. It's true. It's a tough comparison. True.
Yeah, it's almost unfair, but it's also, that's what you got to compare to is what you had before. Saban also, made the headlines about at this coaches convention the other day. Turning down a couple of recruits that asked for $800,000 and another asked for $500,000 just to join the signing class. And I just wonder, I read Ross Dellinger in the Sports Illustrated, Bill, talked about that the NCAA is beefing up their enforcement staff, and that soon, I think, is expected, there'll be more policing of tampering in the transfer portal. But that's a whole different thing than the conversation of money going to recruits. And it's just what it'll take, because it does sound a little bizarre for a high school kid to be demanding, and it is the word demand, I think, is the right word, demanding $500,000 to play at Alabama when he's never played a down for the school. It's going to take the coaches saying no. And Saban is in the position where maybe he can do that. I don't know, maybe a lot of other coaches are not, but that's what it's going to take, right?
not only was that part of the demand, but also in that $500K demand is get my girlfriend in law school and pay for it. How about that? And now that wasn't Bryce Young. If Bryce Young wants that, you're going to pay it, right? But yeah, I mean, I don't know what Nick is trying to emphasize there. I guess he's trying to say we're getting beat up too a little bit here, even as mighty as we are. But I don't believe the NCAA is going to do anything. Last thing I'm doing is reading and Ross does a very good job, but what the NCAA suggests they're going to do. They're not indicating they're doing anything with any of this mess.
I don't understand a lot of it. Let me change it up. I do want to ask you, we had one of the greatest ever to do it, and I don't think anybody ever thought his career, Tom Brady, was going to end up like this. Do you have a Tom Brady moment? Do you have something that just sticks out that you say, yeah, that was Tom Brady?
Yeah, it's probably not what you're thinking. I'm in Phoenix, Scottsdale, Tempe for the Fiesta Bowl, back when it was played in the right location, Sun Devil Stadium, and not Glendale, which is just awful. I hate that place. Anyways, and it's Tennessee, Nebraska going to play in a couple of nights in the Fiesta Bowl. We're in a bar, and it is Alabama versus Michigan Orange Bowl, which was one of the best Orange Bowls I've seen. Now, it wasn't as good as the 83-84 Miami game where they upset Nebraska. But anyways, and I'm sitting there watching Brady and coming back and forth. I believe it went to overtime. It was just a phenomenal game. And that was my first impression of him. And obviously, I'm not a big pro guy, so I knew all about the Super Bowls and saw him, but that would probably be my moment with him. Now, I didn't sit there, Matt, and say, okay, I'm projecting him.
Right.
Not at all. I just thought it was a marvelous performance, and it kind of made me go back to think about what he showed against you got to remember, that Alabama team actually was one of Mike DeBose's good teams. They won the SEC that year and beat Florida and Spurrier twice. Now, the next year they tanked, and he got fired for a bunch of stuff, but that was a good Alabama team they beat with Brady.
Speaking of another Michigan man, I know the Broncos have who their coach now because they traded for Sean Payton. But man, I thought Jim Harbaugh, when he said he was going back to Michigan, he was going to go back to Michigan. And then there's the reports that he was still talking to the Broncos. And I know the situation with his former co-offensive coordinator got a little bit out of hand. He doesn't speak to the athletic director and everything, so I just didn't know what to believe there with him because it looked like he was still looking for a specific job in the NFL.
Let me tell you, there's many different facets of Jim Harbaugh, and actually some of this I admire. Jim Harbaugh doesn't give a rip what anybody thinks about what he said about whatever topic. Whether he's staying or something political or anything. If he's up 50-0 on a team and they're on the goal line, he's scoring. And he doesn't care what the media thinks or what some, talk show guy, Bill King, thinks or somebody on social media. And here's the other thing. Like I told you, if he said he's staying and he doesn't stay, he could care less what anybody thinks about him going back on his word. He doesn't play like that. He doesn't care at all about that stuff.
So he's going to go where he wants
to go. They got their running back coming back. I saw that. I saw where Raheem Sanders was third on the list, but the kid from Michigan was number 1. I think Frank Gore was top 10. You like Frank Gore Jr.? I mean, he looks just like his daddy.
Yep, he's good. Blake Corum is the kid that Michigan, remember, hurt his knee late, so we didn't get to see him after that. And then his backup rushed for 200 yards against Ohio State. Both of those guys are back.
Interesting. I saw it, and back to the National Signing Day thing here tonight. So we talked a little bit about Jaden Rashada, the kid who signed at Florida. Their collective reneged on $13 million. He's now signed at Arizona State. I had to laugh because he said that was his dream school. I'm like, all right. Well, you'd signed at 2 other schools before you signed at your dream school. It was just, but I mean, this was probably the one of the most heavily reported on recruits across the country outside of maybe Arch Manning. But, Manning, I guess, got what he needed to stay at Texas. And Rashada, I just wonder what Arizona State's given him, if much at all.
nowhere near that number. Kenny Dillingham's the new coach, and he was at Oregon there briefly with Dan Lanning, and he's a hot-shot offensive guy. We'll see if he wins there. The last guy that won there consistently was actually John Cooper before he left for Ohio State. But, and remember, he had Jake Plummer, and that was quite
Jake
some time
Plummer,
back.
yes.
Yeah. That's about it. I mean, there's no big
They had an Andrew
there.
Walter guy there, I think, that was coming out when I came out.
Yep.
Got drafted by Oakland. They had a little success. Yeah, you're right.
Correct.
Arizona State. Dirk Cutter was out there a little bit, but they haven't done what they haven't excelled. Yeah.
It's tough, but yeah, we'll see. But I don't think he's getting $1 million.
Even your boy Sumlin going to Arizona. I mean, the Arizona schools. When you think Arizona, I think basketball. I mean, I really do. You think that Mike Bibby, Jason Terry. You think basketball when you think Arizona or Arizona State.
Well, Herm
you do, but I tell you,
James Harden, Arizona State.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, those two places are beautiful. Now, I know kids aren't necessarily looking at how pretty the lawn is when they're recruiting, but I'll tell you the other thing about Arizona State. It's the only other school besides Ole Miss where they redshirt Miss Americas. I'll just put it that way.
They got him out there. That's right. That's right.
Did I hear you say a moment ago you didn't like Glendale? Was there a piece of Arizona you're not a big fan of? Is it that stadium? Is it what is it about there?
First of all, sometimes they act like it's Phoenix. It's not even close to Phoenix.
No, it isn't.
I was out there for the Oregon-Auburn National Championship, which was Cam Newton 2010, January of 2011. And I've gone to a million Fiesta Bowls, and they're always at Sun Devil Stadium. It's right there on that campus. It's gorgeous. Everything, the campus is wonderful. You're right by Scottsdale Temple. It's just beautiful. Glendale's an antiseptic, out in the middle of nowhere, waste of space. The facility is just antiseptic too. I don't like anything about it. I'll never go back. I don't care what's going on out there. It's terrible.
I've been to that. I've been to Tempe and Arizona State, and I walked over there. We were there for women's basketball, and I walked out of the basketball building during practice just to go walk around a little bit. The stadium was really pretty, and they were renovating it too. But you know how it is. I mean, you're not going to play a possible. Well, a New Year's Six Bowl or a championship game, unfortunately, at a stadium like that. And I agree. I've been to Glendale. I've been there for a basketball game, for an Elite Eight game, and it's a bit of a weird looking place. Before we let you go, I needed to get your thoughts on the last few weeks for Stetson Bennett since the championship. And obviously Georgia dealt with an incredible tragedy just the day after the parade. And maybe that's one reason, why whatever happened in Dallas happened. But on the other hand, I mean, I thought he acted a little bit odd at the parade, and that was before the tragedy occurred. And then there's what happened in Dallas too. I mean, so you skip the Senior Bowl in order to go prepare for the NFL draft in Dallas. And I just don't see preparing for the draft as drinking until 6 a.m. and pounding on anybody's doors. Not like, people can, do what they want to do. But when you're preparing for the draft, I don't know. It's not like he's going to be a first-round pick or anything, but, I mean, this is going to just knock him down a few
Even more of
pegs.
a reason, right? Even more of a reason.
Yeah, I don't really have much background there yet. 6 a.m, sun's about to come up. You've been into the bottle a bit, and you're pounding on doors. Somebody gets scared, calls the police, and you're arrested. Now, in the grand scheme of things, it could be way worse, and he could have been behind the wheel of a car, which he wasn't. So that's the good part. But yeah, I mean, you got to be more responsible. But his bigger problem, guys, and I'm a huge Stetson Bennett fan, just the story. But he's not 6 feet. He's maybe 180. He's got a limited arm, and up there, he's not going to be able to run around like he does in college. I don't. If he maybe is somebody's third quarterback.
Bill,
that's about it.
Bill, I'm still waiting. You can make 7 figures as a quarterback in the CFL. Why does he not? You used to have more of that back in the day with your Warren Moons, your Doug Flutys. If I'm Stetson Bennett, I'm going to go be a face of a franchise in the CFL, make $1 million plus a year, and play. I don't want to go be a third string and watch everybody else play. I mean, and you're probably making about the same amount of money to be a third string.
Yeah, and again, I don't have a good answer for him, but I would imagine he's been showing people what he can do. Now, is he an individual quarterback that's getting 50 a game in basketball, in football terms?
But like
No,
a Doug
not.
Flutie, right? Like, I mean, he was an undersized guy that could throw it, go up there and learn the game, get in the right system. Maybe you come back and play a little bit. I'm just surprised you don't see more quarterbacks do that.
I know. It's ego. It's kind of like you have a guy that can play D2, but he can be a walk-on at a D1 place, so he gets to hang around. Now, again, I don't know if that's what he's thinking, but sometimes you just don't want to. Mentally, you won't allow yourself to do that.
Hold on one moment here, Bill. The last thing I got to ask you about, and it's about players that Arkansas has signed in the transfer portal. They've got 3 wide receivers that are coming from lower-level programs. You got a kid out of Hillsdale College Division II. You got a kid out of Bowling Green, the tallest receiver in all of Division I football, and then another out of Texas A&M Commerce who signed with the program in December. They've all been incredibly productive receivers. I find this one of the really more fascinating stories about Arkansas football for this next season is, getting open in Division II or FCS or in the MAC is a heck of a lot different than getting open in the SEC. I think it took Matt Landers a few weeks of playing before he was getting open on a game-by-game basis. I mean, what do you look when you're looking at numbers? Like, numbers mean something, stats mean something, but getting open also means something too. And to me, this is going to be fascinating about the Arkansas offense moving forward.
Yeah, there are a lot of guys that fall into that wide receiver category, though, and maybe not playing on high D1 levels. Who can play? Those guys are all over the place, and I wouldn't be surprised to see 1 or 2 of those guys, splash, make an impact. I wouldn't at all. Those guys are plentiful. You're never going to hear that we just brought in 3 6'4", 320-pound D tackles who eat glass for breakfast and sack quarterbacks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those guys are. There's not hardly any of those, but there's all kinds of wide receivers and running backs out there. It's a plentiful crop everywhere.
Well, we'll certainly be learning about them very soon.
Yeah.
Bill, appreciate you. Have a
Thanks,
great
guys.
month
Thanks, Bill.
of February. Thank you. Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio.
That's a good point, Phil. There's a lot of B receivers out there. It's hard to find that A receiver that you're getting out there. Your Terrell Owens, your Randy Mosses, though, your Jefferson from the LSU. But there's a lot of C+, B- receivers.
We've seen this. We've seen players, try to step up from lower level programs to Arkansas and succeed. John Ridgeway succeeded immediately.
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference, though, with his size and that strength, too. But with Landers, remember, his season last year, and he's incredibly fast, and he's got that tall frame, but he had a first half of the season in which, wasn't really all that productive. Second half of the season, man, he really was. Maybe part of that was the adjustment period. We adjust into the home stretch of halftime. Next.
I am not who you say I am.
I'm a pastor.
I am a caregiver.
I am a father.
I am a friend.
I'm a doctor.
Chances are someone you know and love is struggling with substance use disorder, but recovery is possible. Help starts when we stop stigma, view each other with compassion, and reach out for help. Call 1-800-622-HELP to get started. This message sponsored by the North Arkansas Partnership for Health Education and supported by grant number 2018-AR-BX-K085 awarded by the Bureau of Justice Assistance.
Home is everything. It's your sanctuary, your command center, your music room, and your art studio. It's where you eat family dinners and make lasting memories. When you use a Weichert agent to help you find your home, we'll help you find the space to make it yours. When you begin your search, know that a Weichert agent will be there with you every step of the way. Because at Weichert Realtors, we guide you home. To get started, call your local Weichert agent and look for our bright yellow signs all over town. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Hi folks, matchmaker Larry Rath here with a sweetheart of a deal from Rath Auto Resources. I'm on a mission to help you find the nicer, newer car of your dreams. So if the thrill is gone with your old ride, come see the best selection of Rath Road Ready vehicles we've had in over 2 years. Each one hand-picked and reconditioned in our Meineke Car Care Center. Just find the one you love the best and let our friendly, non-commissioned solution specialists do the rest. With discounts up to $4,100 below retail and the highest trade-in values ever, you'll be head over heels for the deals too. Gonna make it work with the car you have? Let us give it the attention it deserves in our Meineke Car Care Center with a free winter-ready inspection, half-off brakes, and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. But hurry, this deal will be over quicker than your first crush. Start driving better today in a nicer, newer car you love from Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company has 2 locations, 1316 South Zero and 200 South Zero Street in Fort Smith, serving the glass and glazing needs of Fort Smith, Northwest Arkansas, and Eastern Oklahoma, commercial and residential. Tub and shower enclosures, mirrors, glass table, and countertops cut to custom size are just a few services offered by Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company. Arkansas Glass and Mirror stocks laminate glass, plexiglass, Lexan, window glass, and mirror and plate glass. For more information, call 646-4300. That's 646-4300.
Gray Steel Structures Incorporated is a family-owned business based in Greenwood specializing in steel structures. Owner Will Gray has 20 years experience doing the job right and making sure you're satisfied with the structure you have a need for. Gray Steel Structures serves both commercial and residential customers. Whatever your need may be, mini storage, RV storage, home workshop, or any metal building need, make Gray Steel Structures your first call. Gray Steel Structures, 252-2783. That's 252-2783.
GraySteelStructuresInc.com. That's Gray with an A.
Do you need help with your next project? Metters Lumber True Value is here to help. A family-owned business since 1936, the staff has more than 90 years of experience in construction and the hardware business. If they don't have what you need, they know how to get it, and they are more than happy to accommodate your special order. So whether it's building a new deck, a paint project around the house, or needing a new set of tools, Metters Lumber True Value has everything you need. With locations in Alma, Ozark, and Clarksville, and you can shop online at metterslumber.com. Metters Lumber True Value.
Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric has been the most trusted heating and air company in Arkansas for more than 50 years. As the winter weather changes from hot to cold, trust the pros at Paschal to ensure your system is performing at its best. Right now, get a heating tune-up for only $99 per system. Want full protection and member discounts? It's only $1 more per visit. Call today or visit GoPaschal.com to schedule online anytime. Professional people, professional service. GoPaschal.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Something bad's about to happen to me. I don't know what, but I feel it coming. Might be so sad, might leave my nose running.
Find halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
I saw yesterday that I didn't even know this was a thing, or if I did, I'd forgotten about it. There is an Arkansas Food Hall of Fame, part of the Arkansas Department of Heritage.
Sounds great. Smells delicious.
It already smells delicious, doesn't it? They came out with the nominees for 2023. Northwest Arkansas has one nominee. Amongst the, 3, 6, looks like there's about 12 or 13 restaurants that are nominated. Hugo's in Fayetteville is the only nominee from Northwest Arkansas. Our friends in Harrison's DeVito's Restaurant, Daisy Queen in Marshall. I've stopped at the Daisy Queen before. Black Angus in Little Rock, I've eaten there a couple times. Ohio Club in Hot Springs, Skyline Cafe in Mena, Ozark Cafe in Jasper. I've got to stop there. I keep hearing about Ozark Cafe. Cream Castle in Blytheville, Meacham's Family Restaurant in Ash Flat, Bulldog Restaurant, Bald Knob, Betty's Old Fashioned in El Dorado, Big Banjo Pizza in Pine Bluff. Now, I got a thing for Hugo's. Ever since I stepped foot in that restaurant, and maybe part of it was the walking downstairs to get into the restaurant. It always made me feel I was entering into Cheers. But that'd be my choice.
A place where everyone knows your name. The Ohio Club in Hot Springs and Hugo are the only two places on that list, Phil, that I've been to. All the other ones that you said, I don't even know if I've heard of them. But the Ohio Club, going down to Hot Springs and going to the horse races, I don't know if you've ever done that, but that's always a fun time. And we stopped in there one time. And then Hugo's is just, get out of here, right? Like, forget about it.
Now, that's a place that I love, and I like eating alone. I don't know about you. I love to sit there with a friend or with a loved one or with a kid and share a meal together, and have a conversation. But I also don't mind at all eating by myself.
Putting a soccer game on the background and just chilling out. I love it.
I don't know if I have the soccer game in the background, but as long as I've got something to read.
There you go.
Or
same concept.
This is one of the things about Hugo's, which I find which is cool, is they've got the bar, and the bartenders, where they're always going to be working hard there, they'll still engage you in conversation without giving you side eye, like, hey, I'm working here. Just enough, though. Just enough. Be able to read the room a little bit. But yeah, sometimes I think about it, I don't know how many times I actually am the one that engage with people. Most of the time somebody engages with me. So I'll walk in places and if I really don't say much to anybody. They also do a Food of the Year, but I don't think they've announced the nominees for Food of the Year. It's kind of funny to think about, just like, all right, what's the best food in the state of Arkansas for this year? Last year, the Food of the Year was chicken. So, how do you do that? Do you congratulate chicken for being Food of the Year? Because they didn't pick a specific dish. It was just chicken was Food of the Year.
Chicken nachos. Yeah, I know. You do a chicken bacon ranch? You do chicken on your pizza? Are you a guy that you'll just do about anything on the pizza? Like, I can't do pineapples. But I really don't like bacon, like a chicken bacon ranch pizza for some reason. It just doesn't taste right.
Look, I feel the same way about pizza that I do about baseball. There is no such thing as being a pizza purist. It's whatever makes you happy. It's whatever works. I don't mind putting pineapple on pizza. I don't mind putting bacon on pizza or chicken or sauces that aren't necessarily red. Because I remember the first white pizza I ate, and I was like, wait a minute, this isn't white. There's no sauce on it at all. Ranch? Now that's a white pizza.
That Alfredo sauce pizza, though, oh my goodness, man. Who you telling? A little spinach, Alfredo sauce, some garlic. That's your white pizza right there.
I forget who it was that
olive oil.
I was talking about this with the other day, and I got chicken on my pizza, and I got pineapple on it, and they looked at me like I'd grown a third head. It's just like all of a sudden their opinion of me completely changed because I put pineapple and chicken on a pizza. These flavors do work together, and they work together fairly well. If you can do it on a sandwich, you can do it on a pizza. What's wrong with that? Hey, we do chicken Parmesan sandwiches. I don't know if you ever do like a pepperoni sandwich or anything like that. But
like a little melt.
Yeah, it all works just fine with me. What's wrong with melting cheese, chicken, bacon, and pineapple on something round?
Man, that sounds delicious.
It sure does. It's lunchtime, too, and I haven't seen you eating during the show.
Well, I had that different diet. Yeah. Waters today. Did some other things. Banana, blueberries, oat milk was the lunch, and we'll eat afterwards.
John in Rogers has given us a call. Wants to talk restaurants. Hi, John. How you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
I'm hungry now.
Yeah, me too, and I haven't had lunch either. You were talking about the Ohio Club down at Hot Springs. Yeah, fantastic place to eat, and what I like, they have live music in there, and we was down there for a show a few years ago, and we was down there of a night, and they have live music upstairs, and their band, and their drummer was late getting there, and I'm a drummer, and I got to sit in and play with them.
Oh, how cool.
It was a great time.
Yeah, they got great cocktails there, great mixed drinks there. There was just a cool vibe just going in there. Yeah.
The Ohio Club is one of the legendary spots of Hot Springs.
Cool vibe.
Going back years, decades and decades.
Oh, like Al Capone legendary?
Yeah, there's some shifty stuff going on in there back in the day.
Yes. Well, it's a fantastic place to eat. I can recommend that, and it's a good time, too, especially with the live music, if you like live music as we do.
That's pretty cool, though.
Well, I also like sitting in a restaurant thinking, you know what, Babe Ruth and Al Capone might have been in this restaurant around the same time. That'd be kind of neat.
Yeah.
Hey, John, thank you very much for your phone call. Good to hear from you today. It's John and Rogers giving us a call. Hey, when the Hogs get back on the hardwood or anything going on in sports, you got a busy day in the SEC today. You're going to find all the best odds on the BetSaracen app. That's where you find all the odds that might be a little different from the national apps. I noticed that yesterday Arkansas was a 4.5-point favorite over A&M. The national apps had them as a 3.5-point favorite. So you do find different odds at the BetSaracen app and online at BetSaracen.com. This is Arkansas's favorite sports betting app. You can have it on your Apple iPhone or on your Google Play as well, and BetSaracen.com, any web browser. All right, wrapping halftime up after this quick break.
Jelco Outdoors at 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith has the gear for nasty winter weather. Warm boots, insulated clothing, warm socks and gloves, insulated underwear.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
One call cleans it all.
When you stay overnight, you want the accommodations to feel comfortable and feel like home. Well, at Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, you get exactly that. You can check out all their locations at bphotels.com. They have locations in Fayetteville, Bentonville, Little Rock, Jonesboro, Conway, El Dorado, Arkadelphia, North Little Rock, Bryant, Hot Springs, Ardmore, Oklahoma, and coming soon to Kansas City. bphotels.com. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels. Looking forward to serving you in 2023.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire.
Lined up for that one. And showing, you even have people just missing the target, running up and smacking the target with their hands. So they're doing a dunk tank with 8 shooters and teams, two teams with 8 shooters hit the targets, and you get to dunk your opponent. I don't know. Maybe they could put like the commissioner up there.
And maybe in the water you could put sharks with like little laser beams on their head, and then so when they have to go down, now you got to survive. It's the first one down, then we're seeing what really happens.
Sharks with freaking laser beams.
Is that too much to ask for? Can I just get one thing?
Yes, that's a really scary idea. Need to do this for the upcoming Pro Bowl too. The Pro Bowl in which they've
do it with the field goal kickers somehow, Well,
if we're doing a Pro Bowl in which a backup quarterback who threw 2 touchdowns is now a Pro Bowler.
What's going on?
I think the term Pro Bowler. What was the word from Princess Bride? I don't think that means what you think it means. Pro Bowler does not mean what it used to mean.
I think people do it now too. They get it on their. It's on the resume. They did it once. They don't really care anymore. Yeah.
Tyler Huntley, Pro Bowler. Get to put that on a business card now. Congratulations to him. Yeah.
Man, fun show today, Phil.
Kristen, appreciate you filling in for Maddie over these next couple of weeks. And for Matt Jones, for Kristen Johnston, I'm Phil Elson. We'll be back with you tomorrow for another award-winning edition of Halftime. So get up, get out, and get better.
Frank Rowe Furniture is your family-owned furniture, appliance, and electronics store. We have been servicing the area for 38 years with quality products and service after the sale. Frank Rowe Furniture offers a no-pressure sales atmosphere where you can actually enjoy shopping for your furniture. We also offer in-store, no-credit check financing. Don't wait weeks to be able to take your furniture you purchase home.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local?
Reap a habit, sow a habit, reap a character, sow